It's Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
His stardom confirmed.
Scottie Scheffler, the new face of golf. Hey, welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Yes, on the brand new Infinity Sports Network. And thanks so much for being with us this morning. You know, Perloff, if Scottie Scheffler is the face of golf, I think golf's got a problem. And he is excellent. I don't want to take away from his 4-stroke Masters win. It's his second Masters green jacket in the last 3 years. He's the 4th youngest to win twice. To win the green jacket 2 times. This is someone who's going to be in our life for a long time because he's off to this great start. But he's not that compelling. He's got a little Tim Duncan in him. You can appreciate the greatness, but for him to, I don't want to say carry a sport, I'll put air quotes around it, that's going to be very tough to do.
What do you expect him to do? Do a Chad Ochocinco like dance after he hits a putt?
Yeah, you got a Sharpie out there?
I mean, I know there's,
something?
I think your problem is you're measuring against Tiger Woods. I don't think you need to be compelling. You just need to be dominant for golf to be interesting in the sense that everyone's going to be shooting for him. I mean, you're right. What's Scheffler's superpower? It's consistency, he doesn't get rattled.
Yeah.
Okay, all of that is
Staying
not
in the moment.
All that's not highlight stuff, but I just think that if he can continue to win like this, it's going to be fascinating to see people chase him.
Okay, yes, you're going to have the chases on. 15 majors as a tour player. He has only finished outside the top 25 one time. He's been the world number 1 for 83 out of 107 weeks.
Yeah.
There is a guy who is coming in to be dominant, but I think this is a very precarious time for the PGA Tour and for golf in general. No one really knows what's going on between the PGA and LIV. This changes basically, by the week. You do have all the players back together at these majors, which is fun. It's great to see Bryson DeChambeau and these guys all playing together, Brooks Koepka or whatever, all in the same field. The dudes who, defected to go to LIV and now they're sort of pseudo under the same umbrella. You really need one compelling figure, I think, to keep the sport kind of where you're not going to reach Tiger levels, but to even try to get back to Tiger levels. And I just don't think Scottie Scheffler wants the smoke. He's Nikola Jokic. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about being a face of a sport. He just wants to do his thing, and that's fine. But again, you don't bring in the casual fan. You do not become that compelling figure.
But what makes a golf star any different than any other golf star? It's just winning. That's the only. What was Tom Watson sexy? I mean, or Jack Nicklaus? If he wasn't winning all those tournaments, nobody would have cared. Winning is the only thing that defines greatness. Tiger was a little different because he hit it farther than everyone, and he looked different, and he was exciting, and he fist pumped. Yes, this is not Tiger, but I think all you have to do is win in golf. That's really the only defining characteristic, because it's not Michael Jordan jumping up and switching hands in the 1990 NBA Finals. It's just hitting
the golf
putts.
version of
It's
that.
a golf. I'm just saying, all you have to do is win, and that will be exciting. What if he wins 5 Masters and then he's coming into a field and everyone's scared of him? That's awesome.
Okay, I'll bring back, we're talking about Scottie Scheffler, who won his second green jacket yesterday. If he's the face of golf, I don't think this is all that awesome for golf because he's got no riz, as the kids say. He's not a charisma guy. He's not, I'm not saying you have to be big on social media, but he doesn't really seem to be connecting with the public.
Social media,
in
this is
real
golf.
way. I know, but
you're not even allowed to have phones at the Masters.
I know, I get it. But there are other guys who have been, like Max Homa is a guy who is really kind of interesting and sort of out there with the public, sort of very comfortable in that, and you feel like you get to know him. What do you know about Scottie Scheffler? That he almost had a baby this week, something that everyone in the world does? Like, we try to make it this big, amazing thing that he was having a kid, which is literally like the one thing in humanity that basically everyone can do. That's not that special.
He's relatable.
Is it?
Having a baby? Yeah, I went through it. Everything.
So did I, and I'm not
honestly,
relating to him.
Scottie Scheffler's life, I remember the Netflix argument, like, his life is not that much different than mine.
Yeah, great. Being boring in a
happens
documentary.
He's going to be a millionaire several times over. Nobody care. What do we care about what a golfer does off the field? Honestly, it's Max Homa. Yes, he's interesting and exciting. Goes on Part of My Take all the time. I like him too. But that guy's not going to dominate the sport. If I have a choice, who am I going to watch, Max Homa or Scottie Scheffler? I'm going to watch Scottie Scheffler.
You are not a huge Tim Duncan fan.
No, I am not I'm not a Tim Duncan guy.
You're a Vince Carter guy.
Yeah, but golf, you can't do Vince Carter in golf.
But you can do the version of it. No,
How?
you can't do a between the
Phil
legs
is-
dunk over
Yeah.
Frederick Weiss, but you can do the version of it, which is, I think, you know when you see it, people get drawn to you and get drawn to your story. And or not your story, just who you are and are rooting for you. I think people are watching Scottie Scheffler and they're like politely golf clapping and maybe excited to watch him, but there's nothing pulling people in, at least not yet. Now, the guy's 27 years old. He's definitely in his golfing prime, but he's one of those athletes that's going out of his way to be boring. He's going out of his way to not give you what you want, which is anything.
What do you want? I'm not sure what you want from this golfer. All I want is somebody to start chasing Tiger for majors.
Like, you don't think you have to be a character too?
No, you got to win 7 or 8 majors, and then we're talking. I mean, what's the last time we had a guy who really looked like he was going to be in that Tiger, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer conversation? I'm not saying Scottie Scheffler is getting there, but he's certainly the best chance right now. You need one guy to everyone chase. Like, NBA needed Michael Jordan and then LeBron. NFL had Tom Brady and now Mahomes. I mean, Tom Brady, what did he give you? I mean, yeah, he was dating Giselle. Actually, scratch that for the right. What does Mahomes? Mahomes gives you
Bridget Moynihan. I mean, we had tons of stuff with.
What
Brady.
does Mahomes give you?
Here's the thing about Mahomes. I do think Mahomes.
His game
does
gives you a
have
lot.
Something. I mean, he's throwing left-handed passes. I think his personal life actually is compelling. His dad was a former athlete. I think now you got the Taylor Swift part of it with Kelsey, which is kind of just like, is over the whole team. I think there's a lot there with Mahomes. And again, with Scheffler, we'll see where it goes, but I don't think he's pulling in Pete Pilati. Pete Pilati's not a big golf fan. I don't think Scottie Scheffler's the one, and he's even from this area.
Well, Pete,
maybe you could be a little relatable, for someone who's near your geographic area. I know he grew up in Dallas, he was originally from New Jersey, so maybe, but even that's not doing it.
So, Pete, what golfer would you be into though? Ever? What golfer has ever pulled you in?
Tiger.
So it's Tiger or bust.
A little Rory, maybe someone like
someone
that.
dynamic. It has to be someone dynamic.
Name a second golfer who you've ever rooted for.
Tiger.
I don't.
That's my point.
It's really Tiger.
So, what if Scottie Scheffler got 8 majors? I mean, because who do we have who's going to be in this upper echelon of golfers? Scottie's 27.
Yeah, I think people had high expectations for John Rahm and for guys like that, but
I'd be surprised if John Rahm is going to.
No, they had high expectations.
Yeah. No, but and also Scottie could be a flash in the pan. I mean, we've seen other guys win 2 majors and not repeat it, but I think he's the best chance as a superpower. That's all we got. I mean, Dustin Johnson's not going to do it.
All we got doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the reaction. Just because it's all you got, that's not bringing in Pete. That's not bringing in a casual. And Pete, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just saying you're a casual golf fan who would be there for Tiger, but Scottie's not going to bring him in. Maybe 10 majors later, but that we got a long way to go for that.
So there's always going to be a Phil, a popular guy, that everybody roots for and follows. You can have that in golf, but what if you have a Phil to entertain, and then at the end of the day on Sunday, everyone's chasing Scottie, and it'll be really interesting to see when Scottie Scheffler's coming down in a major and he's going against a young star.
Yeah.
Will that young star be able to hang with him? Will he get nervous? Because I think Scottie Scheffler, who reminds me a little bit of actually Tom Brady or Eli Manning, just a sense that one of those guys who does not feel the pressure in the big moments. That's to me the most interesting thing about him. He was coming down, you saw the back 9 on Sunday, everybody just completely fell apart. Who did not fall apart? Yeah. Scottie Scheffler. So that's sort of what's interesting to me is the fact that he doesn't get anxiety. Like, I can't even, if the guys in the gallery are watching me putt, I get nervous. He has the whole world watching him, and he just doesn't seem to get affected by these situations. To me, that's kind of interesting. Am I selling you at all? No.
You're really trying, though. I mean, careful. I don't want you to strain something trying to reach for that
I think
one.
I pulled my hamstring on that one.
We're talking about Scottie Scheffler. Is this good for golf if he is the face of golf, which he is now? You mentioned Phil, and there was like sort of a people's champion aspect to Phil. People liked him. I think people knew about the gambling and thought that was kind of interesting, that he had sort of had this other life too that was kind of compelling. Who's the rivalry now for Scheffler? Like, that's the other part of this. You and I talk about whether rivalries matter and how much they matter to a sport. I think they matter a lot. I think Tiger and Phil's rivalry was massive. So maybe if there's a foil for Scheffler, maybe that helps, and instead it becomes like a Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi thing, where Sampras was the straight man. Yeah. Let's see if we can grab him.
Can I sell you a little Ludwig Oberg?
Can you?
First major,
you want to pull the other hamstring?
Shows up, comes in second, his first major. pretty cool. How about a little Colin Morikawa, Scottie Scheffler, nice guy showdown?
Yeah. Who's the nicer dude who can sign more autographs and take more pictures?
Maybe Xander Schauffele will figure it out. I don't know. There are interesting golfers. Regardless, you need somebody. And all we have right now is Scottie. You can't have all these guys alternating majors. That is not good for the sport. Will you at least admit that having 4 different winners every year is not going to be great for the majors?
Well, especially now because everything's so disjointed, right? So you can't even take the momentum because the PGA and LIV have split up so much of the talent. You can't even take the momentum from, hey, we just had a showdown in the Masters. Let's take it to next weekend at the wherever they are this weekend.
I have always rejected that anybody, the casual fan, cares about it. PGA LIV, immediately everybody's eyes glaze over because they all show up at the Masters, which is by far the most viewed tournament.
Right.
So what's the difference? What happens next week?
Well, I'm just saying if you're trying to get the rivalry thing going, right? And if you want somebody with their dominance and rivalries and the things that truly grow sports or the ones that bring in casual viewers, being able to carry over, hey, you and I were just battling on the back nine of Augusta. What's going to happen next week when we all go to? Can you find the next tournament?
I actually don't. I mean, that sounds.
Know the next one.
All that sounds nice in theory, but that's not how it works. Everyone cares about what's going to happen at the U.S. Open in Pinehurst, right? That's what matters. But you're right. You do need a second guy to Scottie. But if Scottie wins with his newborn baby, hopefully that darn baby comes out by the U.S. Open.
Meanwhile, it's due at the end of the month. I think we were sold a little bit of some goods here. It's only the 15th. That kid could come in the middle of May.
The U.S. Open is June 13th. If that kid is not already fully crawling by then, we're going to have an issue with you, Scottie. No, I think it's really going to be the major.
We're counting on the baby to be interesting. Guys, this is a sad state of affairs.
There's no documentary about Arnie and Jack Nicklaus competing at the Valspar Open. It's about the majors, right?
Yes, but it all matters, I think. And again, at this particular time where you have LIV and the PGA and they've split things up, to have a guy who's the face of golf who's not bringing in any casual fans, to have him not have a rival, like you're missing some very key elements to what makes an individual sports great. And team sports too, but especially individual sports, which is the foil.
I totally disagree if he can continue to win at this rate. Now, that's a huge if. If he gets into 7, 8 majors, and I know that sounds ridiculous. He has 2 majors, but he just feels way different than everybody else. It feels like he just never, ever crumbles where these other guys, his rate of hitting a birdie after a bogey is 47%. So nothing gets to him. Like I am mentally weak enough that I get stressed out watching these guys on 12 and 13. I'm like, when Morikawa hit the water, I was like, that is me. I am that choker. Scottie Scheffler's the opposite. You just don't expect him to screw up. I think it's interesting. Yes, some of these guys are robot-like. I understand that.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting in itself. So winning can heal all wounds. I understand you keep bringing Tim Duncan. It's a good point.
Because I know Tim Duncan annoys you.
Tim Duncan and the Spurs were tough. Were a tough watch.
Like Pine Needle says in the chat, which is now youtube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, starting a new era here. Infinity Sportsnet on YouTube and on Twitch, Infinity Sportsnet. Pine Needle has said, how about Scottie mixing a fist pump? I mean, fair. I mean, he was leading by 4 strokes, so maybe the fist bump would have felt like a little much. But, I mean, Tiger was leading the field, and he'd get to 18, and it was like 25 Game 7s wrapped into one. He's fist bumping. He's, he didn't let us into a lot of his private life until it all spilled out in the tabloids. But Tiger gave us something. He gave us a lot of emotion.
That's an impossible comparison. There's just never going to be another Tiger. And to compare Scottie Scheffler to Tiger is totally unfair because you can't compare anyone. There's not going to be another Tiger. It's not going to happen because Tiger was the first. He was much to me like Michael Jordan. I know you think LeBron is another Michael Jordan, but even he is a carbon copy of Michael Jordan because Michael was first and sort of took the NBA to new heights. Tiger took golf to new heights. Nobody's going to do that, not in the foreseeable future.
So we're asking, is this a good thing for golf if Scottie Scheffler, fantastic golfer, understated dude, and personality, if he is the face of golf? Meanwhile, the second biggest story of the weekend was Tiger. We'll get to that because... not good. Not good. We'll get to how Tiger finished up and all of that, plus a dawn of a new era for one major sports program. So much to do. So glad you're here with us on this Monday morning. 855-212-4227 is the number to call. It's Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie and Perloff Show on the Infinity Sports Network, formerly CBS Sports Radio Network. Maggie, you want to explain the change a little bit and where you can find us in case anyone is looking online?
Yeah, totally. So this should be pretty easy for everybody. You know, companies rebrand all the time. This is simply what it is. We are moving from CBS now to the Infinity Sports Network. So youtube.com/Infinity Sports Net. If you want to find us, watch the show, be a part of the show, be a part of the chat. The Weedos and the coffee drinkers, very, very welcoming group of people. Very, very positive bunch. Twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Net. So basically, everything that was CBS Sports Network is now Infinity Sports Network. It's cool. I like Infinity because this implies, Perloff, that you and I are going to be going forever and ever and ever and ever. This means the show's never going to end.
Yeah.
And where this is just it for the end of time.
It kind of sounds like describing Scottie Scheffler versus Tiger Woods.
This is it. We're now here to stay
Yeah,
forever.
Consistency, never going away.
They promised us. They said infinity.
I don't know if you guys saw our guy, Andrew Kaplan, part of the show, has some logos.
They're awesome.
Gorgeous.
I know.
They're so cool. And they say infinity to me. And I don't know where they are.
It's like futuristic space worlds and stuff. I'm totally into it.
I showed my wife. I'm like, look at the new infinity logo. It's amazing.
No, very, very cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this. Should be very cool. Again, if anyone has trouble finding us, send us a note. What's our email again?
Maggie and Perloff @gmail.com.
Yes, send us a note. We want you to be able to find us because we are, as Maggie said, not going away. That's our superpower.
No.
Where Scottie Scheffler's superpower is consistency. How
It's
lame
not hitting
is that?
the water.
I admit, we were just arguing about Scottie Scheffler's sizzle. Maggie said he has no riz. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely true. But I think in golf, that might be a good thing because let's face it, there are a lot of dads like me sitting on their couch watching Scottie Scheffler be like, oh yeah, he's going to be running after a toddler in about a year. He's relatable. Isn't relatability something that we want to see in our superstars?
Listen,
we don't want to see, that's why nobody wants a 7'3" guy. You want a guy who you can picture yourself being out there at Augusta on Sunday.
Listen, I don't want to betray any confidences here. You did call him the dad bod god yesterday.
You know, Scottie, I have to be honest. This whole idea that Tiger Woods has to look like an NFL linebacker to be great at golf is ridiculous. Scottie looks like he hasn't hit a gym in 3 years, and he's dominating everything.
See, I think you're not giving him enough credit. I think it might have been the shade of the shirt he was wearing. I think this dude is in shape. I do.
Here.
All
no
these
way.
golfers are. John Daly, you can't do that anymore.
That is just not true. There is, first of all,
maybe that amateur guy,
listen,
he might need to hit the gym, but that's all right. I think it's cool when people have different types of bodies.
Rory McIlroy is now shredded, and guess what it is achieving for him? Nothing. I think this whole idea that you need to be in great shape to play golf is stupid. Honestly,
Tiger may have overdone it.
He's probably overdone it. It's probably a Tom Brady. It's probably a Tom Brady thing where you want pliability over muscle. Like big biceps are not winning. I mean, Bryson DeChambeau lost all that muscle and actually competed this week. And we're doing full disclosure. You're like, ooh, Bryson, where you been? Where you been, handsome?
I said that off the air.
I noticed the same thing.
Where
I'm like,
you also
wow,
said
Bryson DeChambeau used to look kind of weird, and now he looks like a good-looking guy with his 3D printed clubs and all the weird stuff going on there. Don't ask me about that. But I do think that you do not need muscle to be good at golf because you know why? I've seen it my whole life. As somebody who's rather shredded, just kidding. I have no golf skills. There is no skill to be able to keep your eye on the ball that you need muscle for. Bogusch, I can't believe you're laughing at me. You think you need to be in shape to be a golfer?
I'm laughing at you because in the last 3 shows now, counting today, it's like you've never seen golf before.
What are you talking about?
First of all,
Perloff bets on golf all the time.
I know. Sign me up for Scottie Scheffler's dad bod. I'll take that in a second. The dude might not be jacked, but he is definitely in shape. And the idea that you don't have to be in shape to be good at golf, this is like this is the original anti-golf argument. All of these guys they're not huge, like in terms of like, what's the right word? Density is not the right word. They are not overwhelmingly big, but they're all cut. All ripped.
Kyle Morikawa looks like he weighs about 125 pounds.
But if you watch that...
He looks skinny.
Right, but if you watch the Netflix show...
Yeah, they all work out.
They're in the gym working out like mimic, but they're not big guys. They're not 6'4", 250.
They're all like on the Nautilus machines. They're all doing exercises that like NFL guys would never even consider.
Because they don't play football.
Yeah. It's like, you're right, it's about the pliability, but they're all in really good shape. Same thing with NASCAR drivers. Race car drivers are in great shape.
You don't think the main difference is that these guys are not using PEDs and those other guys probably are. Let's be real.
Are you sure?
I mean,
Well, no, I
would never
PEDs
presume.
to the level of an NFL player, allegedly.
Well, maybe not the ones that come from, East Germany from the 1970s or whatever, 80s. I don't know if they're taking that stuff, but I wouldn't presume that golfers don't do it.
Also, half these guys are tiny. I mean, they really, really small guys.
Right, but they're in shape. I mean, the soccer guys,
Yes,
too,
but-
they're not big people. When they take their shirts off, they don't have an ounce of body fat on
So
them.
Rory,
It's
for
all
example,
muscle.
Rory's ripped right now.
Yes.
And he's definitely not playing well. It's not helping him in any possible way. I mean, where's he been in the majors? Just as he's got more. It doesn't
Plus
help.
4 yesterday.
It just doesn't help. I honestly.
Yeah, but Rory was hitting him off the pavilion long ago.
Yeah, I don't. It's not the argument that it's a cold hard fact that muscles prevent you from being good at golf is not true.
Well, obviously, you don't want to get too big.
Right, too
that
big,
can't
like
help at
anything.
all.
You don't want to be too big in anything.
You want to be loose and fluid. And honestly, you just want to have. It's the most important 6 inches in golf are between your 2 ears, Andrew. You know who told me that?
I was
Bobby
nervous.
Jones.
I was nervous when he said that. I was like, wait, what?
You know who told me that? Bobby Jones, and
The
not
former
the
Mets
former
pitcher?
Philadelphia 76er Bobby Jones. It's a mental sport. This muscle stuff is ridiculous. It's silly. Tiger looks dumb. Honestly, why is Tiger going out there? First of all, you're having back problems. Maybe stop lifting weights, dude. I think that they should listen to Tom Brady, who looked like he was pudgy at the end of his career, but he's working on pliability. You should too, Andrew.
I should.
Maybe you should get into some pliability.
I'd love to. I'd love to look like Tom Brady as well. Another guy that's not bulky, but he's ripped. That's the same body that all these guys
But yeah,
have.
now he's ripped. When he was playing, he was a little chunky.
I feel like Perloff wants all of his golfers to look like the Avengers. They should all look like, Captain America
Yeah,
and
we'll get to
Hulk.
that.
No, I
The
mean,
amount of
Maggie got
time
very
that I
familiar with the
wasted
Avengers this weekend.
watching a movie that I still don't know what the hell happened in that movie. I have no idea.
can I just say, at Exhibit B is John Rahm. I mean, you cannot tell me John Rahm did not carry around a couple pounds while he was dominating the majors.
Wait, but I can't tell what you want. Do you want them to look like
No,
dad
no,
bods,
no.
or you want them to
No,
look
they
shredded,
should
but
not be
Tiger lifts too
spending-
many weights?
No, they should not be spending any time in the gym. They should be spending that all on the course. I think that's all vanity. All that weightlifting, total vanity. It doesn't work. John Rahm is got to be like, come on. You're telling me John Rahm was in the gym? No way.
I love Perloff just judging from the TV. And like there's no way that in person these guys might look different. They're definitely shredded. We'll get to Tiger and the disappointing exit in just a moment. But Andrew Bogusch has headlines. Hello.
Hello again. They're all sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility and great pay and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. So Maggie doesn't think Scottie Scheffler has enough riz. May I offer you new Kentucky men's basketball coach Mark Pope.
Every coach in America, at every other job in America, stands up at their press conference and they try and moderate expectations. We don't do that here at Kentucky. When Mitch called me and talked to me about being the head coach here at Kentucky, I understand the assignment. We are here to win banners.
I'm going to say
And
this.
drain the swamp, and we're going all the way to the White House. That was rally-like.
Yeah, because it was a rally. I'm going to say this slowly. Rupp Arena sold out yesterday afternoon for this pep rally. Pope arriving on the court in a bus holding multiple members of the 96 national title team. He was the last of his teammates to leave the bus. National championship trophy in hand. It's that connection that got Pope this job. After at least one more high-profile coach got, Drew said no thanks to AD Mitch Barnhart. Now Pope's got to build a roster.
I believe these players, man, our job as coaches is we get to be shepherds.
To the uninitiated, that's a Reed Shepherd joke. Now, Reed could leave for the NBA, or he could stay in Lexington and play for his dad's college roommate.
You know what? They hired the perfect guy. You got to give the people what they want.
But is he in shape, Maggie? Does he have too many muscles for this job?
Pliability that he did when he was playing for Kentucky? No, but I think that this is exactly what the fan base wanted. and they gave them exactly what they wanted. Is it going to work? Who cares? That's a story for another time. Well, we'll figure that out down the road. But for today, this is exactly what Kentucky needed. They need a little bounce back, all right, what's the world going to be like after John Calipari? And they're going to be all right. They're in good hands with Mark Pope, or at least that's what he wants you to believe.
Oh, yeah. When they get bounced in the second round by some small private school in New Jersey, everyone's going to think, oh, well, at least we got April 14th. And get out of here. Who cares about this press conference? This means nothing to Kentucky fans. They're brutal.
Oh, I think it means a lot. Clearly, they're lining the streets. They're selling out the arena. And you wanted somebody who's just going to come in. You want to cheer. You want something to be excited about. And he gave that to you.
And they will kill him if they lose.
Well, that's later.
or he bolts in 2 years.
Well, I don't know where to bolt to from there. But still, yeah, I mean, it's a thin line. You're not getting back to the 90s Kentucky or the 2000s Kentucky.
I mean, the one thing that was very evident yesterday was that this university and this fan base was 1,000% done with the John Calipari era. If there was any kind of thought of maybe we're making the wrong decision or maybe we shouldn't have moved on, you sell out the Rupp Arena. You have
They're sending a message.
Members of the 96 team. I have not seen any of those dudes at Kentucky for the last 10 years.
Dude, Tony Delk looks like he could still play.
Love that guy.
Like,
he was so good on the game.
That was one of the most awesome teams in the history of college basketball. So to see those guys come out of the bus were cool. Definitely a little older. Maybe not.
Yeah, I was going to say, those guys were limping like crazy coming off the bus. It wasn't the 76ers.
With the body shape.
Did you guys, it's not body shape, but no, they all looked like they couldn't walk straight.
Well, they're basketball players who are now old. They're all hunched over.
I played like 10 years in the NBA.
Yeah, they were all too good and actually had NBA careers.
Yeah.
Yes, I judged them. I'm like, Ron Mercer, man, oh, wow, this is tough.
Have you seen
that? Was the fastest guy I ever remember. And now he's just like, oh, you could hear him groan as he walked.
Have you seen...
See those guys playing the Masters. That'll get me watching it.
Or the Red Hook Saturday morning league that Perloff runs.
I know. Honestly, watching old NBA players walk around. Have you seen Barkley? I mean, Kenny Smith. All these guys it's tough.
Yeah, no, definitely former athlete stuff. What are you going after my Red Hook Saturday morning run?
I was waiting for the Ron Mercer couldn't play with us line. I thought you were going to tell me that Ron wasn't good enough for your league anymore.
Jealousy is not a pretty color on you, Andrew Bogusch.
Gosh.
You're wearing a green jacket today. You're waiting for an invite to my basketball run now too? Forget it.
No, I don't want to play said with you. I don't want to. I'm out.
Yeah, well, you said the other girl who elbowed Caitlin Clark, who was just a basketball play. When I heard that, I'm like, all right, I'm not playing ball with Perloff anytime soon. I'm not trying to have a broken nose.
Holy Cross.
Or a broken face.
Perloff's like, suck it up, get out there.
Oh, are we bringing that back?
Oh, I'm just saying. I heard that. I was like, all right, I know how those runs go.
Because quote unquote, I was going after Caitlin Clark. Oh my God.
Listen, 8 million people can't be wrong. Or how many people saw that? 18 million?
It went to 18 million, but
18 million people thought you were hating
I don't know
Caitlin
why
Clark.
CBS Morning News had a feature just on that tweet. It was so stupid. But the woman accidentally elbowed Caitlin Clark in the face, and everyone's treating it like Rudy Tomjanovich. What is going on?
It was amazing that Gail King got a hold of it. I was really surprised.
I just
gotta be more things going on.
Ron Mercer, if you play in the Red Hook League, this is what you got waiting for you. Elbows to the face.
Honestly, I think I could cover Ron Mercer right now.
See, there it is. I told you.
I think I could.
I wasn't jealous. I was waiting for it. I just know how this goes.
I do think I could. First of all, Ron Mercer, everyone
just got receipts. He's waiting in the wings.
He always goes right. That's the thing with Ron Mercer.
You have one working knee right now. You're going to stop Ron Mercer?
I haven't played in 10 weeks. It sucks. But yeah, I know I can take down Ron Mercer. Now, Delk, forget it.
Too fast.
We're talking about Kentucky sold out the Mark Pope. It was supposed to be a quote unquote press conference. It was a pep rally. It was everything you'd want it to be if it was Kentucky. He's talking about raising banners, talking about Reed Sheppard coming back.
This is so sad that's the peak now of Kentucky's now happening after the season. Win something, then I'll get excited. Right now, you're just setting up an expectation that's going to be hard to meet.
Oh, it's already there. So I say lean into it. Give them the red meat.
Do you think that they're a top 2 seed in the tournament next year? Probably not, right?
I got to see who's back.
Feels like it's going to be a tough little short-term road for him because the SEC is amazing, and I'm assuming he's going to lose. He's definitely, what's the other guy, Dillingham?
Dillingham's definitely gone.
Yeah,
I expect DJ Wagner to be gone.
Bradshaw's in the portal. One guy decommitted, but still said he might go depending who they hire. That was pre-Mark Pope. So
one of the signees was there yesterday and said that, I like this. Maybe I'll stay, but I got to talk to the coach first. So
Reed Sheppard was not there.
He was not there. His dad was there. When he made that Reed Sheppard joke, he had Rex Chapman, kind of almost like bear hugging Jeff Shepard to be like, hey, man, bring your kid back. I'm like, I've never seen anything like that before.
It was pretty cool.
You would have thought Mark Pope had already won 5 national championships with the way the crowd was wrapped up into a frenzy, the way the other players were wrapped up into a frenzy.
EJ, it's the called glory days, man. There's nothing like them. What else we got, Bogusch?
I feel like that's setting up a big fall here. That's what I'm concerned about.
I don't disagree. I'll be honest.
Expectations are there. You might as well go for it.
Yeah, but if they end up not making the tournament or something, like that could be bad.
We'll play that highlight, that's for sure. We'll be playing the pep rally quotes, no doubt.
Let's get to Augusta, where Scottie Scheffler won the Masters again. He has a 44 Husky green jacket for him now. Things were tight on the first 9 yesterday, and then they weren't. Scheffler playing the second 9 at 3 under, while Ludwig Åberg, Colin Morikawa, and Max Homa took turns wetting themselves. Scheffler finishing at 11 under, 4 shots clear of Åberg. This green jacket, his third significant win already here in 2024.
I've had a really good start to the year, and I hope that I can continue on this path that I'm on. I'm going to continue to put in the work that's got me here.
Oh, he's so boring.
Not exactly the Mark Pope prep rally.
The NBA playoff.
I want to watch golf.
Picture is finally set. The regular season's over, and the Phoenix Suns won the race to the 6th seed, avoiding that loaded West play-in. Here's their head coach, Frank Vogel.
Yeah, we're excited about it. We wanted to finish in the top 6 just to, avoid the possibility. We would have been confident in a playing game, but you avoid the possibility of a bad shooting night or a rolled ankle or something like changing the fate of your season.
So now his Suns play a best of 7 with the T-Wolves, whom they beat yesterday to make this all happen. Minnesota falling out of the 3-way tie for the top spot with OKC and Denver. The Thunder wanted, earning number 1 for the first time since 2013. That West play-in is Lakers at Pelicans, Warriors at Kings tomorrow night. Baseball last night, the Padres won their rubber game at Dodger Stadium 6-3. Jurickson Profar, a tie-breaking 3-run double, top 7. And Bengals wideout T. Higgins said yesterday he expects to play in Cincinnati for the coming season. He requested a trade after getting the franchise tag to begin this offseason. Guys, back to you.
Bogusch, thank you so much. Coming up, the NFL team we wish was starting the season tomorrow. We'll get to that in just a moment. It's Maggie and Perloff, CBS Infinity Sports Network. I did it.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Talking about golf this morning, and maybe we can put this up as the poll question, EJ. Is it good if Scottie Scheffler is the face of golf? Talented dude, but not exactly someone who's going to grab the casual fan. Oh, I must watch Scottie Scheffler. He's got a little Terminator quality to him. It's just a very focused, very centered, more of a surgeon than an artist, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but here's the alternative is no face of golf. And also, Scottie Scheffler's not quite there. But if he can string together more major wins, then it becomes really interesting. What if he is so good at 27 that he starts to get in the conversation of the majors record? I don't think that's going to happen. It's still a ridiculously long way away.
Yeah.
But I think success breeds interest. And more than this, I mean, listen, the guy's been number one. You said the stat. Over 80 weeks out of his career.
83 of the last weeks. 107 weeks.
Back-to-back TPC winners. Like, the numbers are starting to get kind of crazy for Scottie Scheffler. So the other alternative is just a new guy wins every major, and that's not going to do anything for the sport either. So this might be what you got, Maggie.
855-212-4227 is the number to call to get involved with the show. It's never a bad time to talk about the NFL, Perloff. We're going to have the draft coming up in a couple weeks. But before that happens and before the NFL descends on Detroit for the draft, if I told you you could have one team you could just watch tomorrow, the one team you cannot wait until it gets to the season and you see what the heck is going to go on with this team, I gave you one team. Who is it?
It's got to be the Houston Texans because they've had a busy offseason. They were already my team before they signed your guy, Stephon Diggs, away from Buffalo. This is the most interesting team in the NFL because they're building around star second-year quarterback C.J. Stroud. They have all the pieces. Their defense is it's developing into a bit of a Pro Bowl roster. It's crazy how much talent they have there. And then Stroud's going to run the offense. To me, this is by far the most exciting team. They fit the formula of a Super Bowl team. They have a young quarterback on a rookie deal that you could build around. There's just so many interesting players here. Name a more interesting wide receiver trio than Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. You got Joe Mixon. I'm not a huge fan of a running back, but man, this is going to be great. Here's the thing that people don't realize too. DeMeco Ryans is still building that defense in the image of the 49ers' great defense, and he is now got the players. They can beat you anyway. I'm dying to see if this Texan team meets the expectation because I just don't see the flaw.
Okay, here's my thing about the Texans. Aren't they giving you a little bit of super team vibes?
How so?
Because I thought the Diggs trade was really one thing that kind of put them into, are we watching super team here? Are we into that territory where the team is going to have all the expectations of the world because of some of the big players that they've signed? You mentioned on the defensive side, like the Danico Autry's and the Daniil Hunters and the Aziz Al-Shade. Like this feels like, especially with Autry and with Hunter, guys who had really good careers already with the Titans and the Minnesota Vikings respectively, it's feeling a little super teamish to me.
I totally
They're
don't
going to
think
be
so.
everybody's pick. Like, if you're not picking the Chiefs, you're probably picking the Texans in the AFC.
Yeah, but people were already there. They went from 7th to 6th in odds when they traded for Diggs. They were already the hot team, regardless. And you're saying Danico Autry gives you a super vibe?
Well, I'm talking about Diggs. You just said
Diggs
all the
and
signings on
Diggs
the offensive defense.
Yeah, but listen, they got brought in Hunter, but they lost Grenard, so I don't think that gives a super team vibe. They basically traded with the Vikings. And then you have Diggs. But other than that, they have nothing but homegrown superstars. C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Derek Stingley, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. This is a homegrown team mostly. You have a couple of little additions. I think it's smart the way they've been doing it. Obviously, too, they have a lot of quality offensive line. That's where it's all going to start. Got to keep those guys healthy. They couldn't last year. I don't see this as a super team at all because forget those older guys. It's got to be the young guys are stepping up, and the guys on the rookie deals are really exciting.
No, but these older guys are going to be asked to do quite a bit. I mean, Diggs and Autry, of course. Why? They wouldn't have made these moves for them if they weren't expected to really be closers.
I mean, I think
They're going for it in year 2 with Stroud.
Diggs is a clear number 2 on that team to me. I think his production is going to go down by 30% of what it was.
But the attention he gets is like a number 1, and that's a big part of a super team.
There's no way you're going away from Nico Collins for Diggs. You think he gets the safety every time? That's why he's going to be great.
No, I'm talking about the attention like globally. I'm talking about the attention that he'll get media-wise. Like he takes you into a different stratosphere. You have the success of winning a playoff game last year with Stroud as a rookie, and now you're going to go into this season with crazy, crazy expectations. Everything is going to change for the Houston Texans.
Is it Stephon Diggs, a 30-year-old receiver?
I mean, you said the Super Bowl odds actually moved because the wide receiver came. That's rare that anybody besides a quarterback moves Super Bowl odds.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, Diggs better be ready to have his production go down. Honestly, he's a nice part of this team, but what did they give up for him?
What was it?
Mid-round.
2 next year.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's a change.
2025 too.
2025 too, right. So the thing about the Texans, I think it's the coach quarterback that's really exciting. I don't think there's any super team vibe. Honestly, you could put anyone around C.J. Stroud, and that's going to be exciting. He might be the guy. And that's what you need, a guy. Like Joe Burrow is a guy.
Yep.
Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a guy. I think C.J. Stroud could be a guy. And it's not going to be because of Daniil Hunter and Danico Autry and Stephon Diggs. He was really, really good at the second half of last season.
A lot of expectations to put on a second-year guy also. I mean, everyone is just so all in on the Texans. I feel like this attention, if they don't handle it the right way, could end up being a bit suffocating for them because they're changing weight classes, let's put it that way, in a very short amount of time. You know, you are going from a team that was basically irrelevant. I mean, the Texans had really gone to a bad place with all the Deshaun Watson stuff and trying to get him out of the building, and you're looking for a new head coach. And now all of a sudden they are expected to be a Super Bowl contender. That's a lot to put on a team in one offseason.
Yeah, I mean, they just won a playoff game, 10-7 last year. I think the natural progression.
You beat the Joe Flacco Cleveland Browns.
That was a pretty good Browns team.
Well, but you beat the Joe Flacco Cleveland Browns at home. And then you went to Baltimore and you got the doors blown off you.
But still, it's natural to think that a 10-7 team with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't care who you put around him. That's exciting, right? You would think that the progression is 12 wins next.
Yeah.
Then maybe 14. I'm not sure why you're down on the Texans because really they also have some depth too. If they keep that offensive line healthy, then watch out.
I always am just a little wary of the team that gets crowned in March and April. And I feel like that's what's happening to the Texans. If you're asking me my NFL team that I wish the season could just start tomorrow because I'm so interested in how this is going to work, it's got to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, you have an all-time quarterback situation that's setting up here that is just infinitely interesting. So Russell Wilson trying to resurrect his career, save his career, however you want to put it. He's going to be the starter, I guess, but you have Justin Fields, the former first-round pick, who's waiting in the wings. Every single throw, every interception, everything, every fumble, everything is going to be a complete referendum on Russell Wilson. And I wouldn't be surprised when you have Fields like sitting there right behind you if this flip-flops a couple times. I mean, this could be something where Wilson starts and then Fields comes in for a couple of games, then something happens to Fields and they got to go back to Wilson. I think this is going to be the not like easy or cut and dry. There's no way this doesn't get sticky or potentially problematic. Now, the Steelers have a very strong organization. They can probably get through it. I mean, we're going to get all-time Mike Tomlin quotes on this thing. I wish they would start tomorrow because it's going to be fascinating. A true quarterback battle, I think we have in Pittsburgh.
Yes, I'm totally psyched for this too. But one thing that's interesting, though, can Mike Tomlin still have an interesting team in the sense that is he going to take the ball out of the hand of both of those quarterbacks and go conservative?
Well, at some point, they have to throw. At some point.
Well, did they last year?
Well, they were really down to, when Mason Rudolph started throwing the ball, actually, it got a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't exactly peppering it all over the field. I just worry that they're going to go conservative again with either quarterback. If you were going to win with defense, who would you want as your quarterback? Say that they go back to the formula, run game defense. Which is better?
Because I think probably Russ at this point, just because Fields is the fumbles. But I think Fields is obviously, he's the much higher ceiling. He's 10 years younger than Russ.
I think you could make an argument that because Fields will run.
Right.
So if your whole goal is to churn out, first downs on the ground, maybe Fields is a better answer to start with because Russ doesn't run anymore at all.
Yeah, listen, I think that I think that Fields is going to ultimately be the last guy standing here this season. And, but again, this is not going to be like straightforward at all, in my opinion. And I think the Steelers are going to really have to navigate. So that's why I wish the one team who could start the season tomorrow, I wish it was the Pittsburgh Steelers because I can't wait to get this quarterback battle going.
It'll be fun. You know what the biggest other problem for the Steelers? That darn division. I mean, it's pretty stacked.
They always find a way.
They find a way
to be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, they always find a way to go 9-8 or 10-7. So, is this going to break out? I don't think this is the year they break out of that little limbo stage.
Maybe not, but
it'll be fun to watch.
A playoff. There'll be a playoff factor.
Probably, but maybe not.
They'll be in the playoffs. I bet that.
Really, I don't know this year because you're going to be pinned behind Cincinnati and Baltimore.
It hasn't stopped them in the past.
Well, listen. Actually, it had. I mean, how many times they've been sort of 9-8? Did they miss the playoffs a couple years ago?
They missed the playoffs. Was it last year? But then made the playoffs this year when they were dead in the water. I mean, you're on your third quarterback at that point.
Yeah, I wonder if that at some point Mike Tomlin's going to have a losing season. Right? No.
I don't think so. We've got no evidence of this. He finds a way to make it work no matter who the quarterback is, no matter who's injured. I mean, listen, if TJ Watt plays that playoff game in Buffalo, maybe we're talking about a different type of game. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely, I like the quarterback battle. I'm still a little nervous about the team. Like, can they get out of this sort of, what's the last time they got anywhere in the playoffs? 17? So it's been a long time. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. But let me ask you this. Let's put you to the test.
Yeah.
Who gets farther in the playoffs, the Texans or the Steelers?
Well, I want to know who's playing quarterback and how do they look at the end of the year for the Steelers.
Yeah, I do too.
This is what I want to watch tomorrow. I want to see this quarterback battle play out. When's the last time we had a legit quarterback battle?
In the entire NFL?
I mean, I'm just thinking like Russell Wilson and Matt Flynn. And I don't know if people even thought that was a real battle until all of a sudden Russ was the starter.
No one knew about Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield last year?
Yeah, thanks. No thanks. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have quarterback. I feel like Mitch Trubisky's been in about 5 quarterback battles.
But has he?
Yeah.
He had no business being in any of those battles. 855-212-4227. Coming up, major question with the NBA Play-In games now set. What should the Lakers do on Tuesday night against the Pelicans? Should they lose this game to avoid the Nuggets? Get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
It's Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Big decision for the Los Angeles Lakers. Hey, welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. So glad to have you. So play-in games are set, Perloff. This is one of the good things that the NBA has done over the last few years, this play-in tournament. I was a little skeptical at first, but I love it for the Western Conference because you're going to get the Pelicans and the Lakers in the 7-8, and then the Kings and the Warriors in the 9-10. Now, here's what's really setting up here. The Lakers, who, despite the fact that Anthony Davis did leave the game yesterday with some hip and back spasms, obviously you need him healthy. But the Lakers really are and the Warriors are teams that we believe could have a shot if they just get into the playoffs, right?
Absolutely.
So the Lakers play the Pelicans now in the 7-8. Whoever wins that game is going to go on to play the Denver Nuggets, the 2 seed in the Western Conference, basically the one team you do not want to see as you're starting the playoffs. So there is some incentive for the Lakers to potentially tank this game against the Pelicans. That would earn them a date with the winner of the Kings Warriors, and whoever wins that game gets the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have the 1 seed. Everybody still with me?
Yeah, but here's the problem with that idea of tanking. First of all, you're going to have to play the Nuggets at some point anyway, if the Nuggets are really this dominant force. So why not do it earlier in the playoffs when LeBron is less tired? Because let's face it, he's kind of old. And Anthony Davis is less hurt. This is, honestly, the Lakers, why would you want to wait to see the Nuggets? Because you're going to have to beat them. If your goal is really to get to the title, which I think the Lakers should have that as a goal, you might as well get the Nuggets early. Yes, you could probably beat the Thunder or the T-Wolves or any of the other young teams pretty easily in the first round.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to have to play the Nuggets anyway. Might as well get it out of the way. And also, the other factor here, if you lose to the Pelicans, then what's waiting for you?
Well, the winner of the Warriors-Kings.
Yeah. Do you want that position?
I don't. I'd have a home game, though. And
still, you don't want to see Steph at all.
No, I don't, but I might want to take my chances. See, here's the thing why I know nobody likes intentional tanking. We saw the fans in Cleveland booing yesterday. Like, I get that nobody likes the jockeying for positioning. But if I'm the Lakers, I'm probably thinking about it. And here's why. I would believe that I could win the game between the Kings and the Warriors. I'd get in and I'd play the Thunder in the first round, and I think I would have a really good shot against the Thunder. Not because they're not a good team. It's just because they're so young. I think I would have the experience and the knowledge to be able to get past them. And if I'm like LeBron, for example, we're talking about legacy stuff with him. Does it really matter if you lose in the play-in game versus losing to the Nuggets in the first round getting smoked? Yes. I mean, you still lose. You still lose. You don't make it through, as opposed to taking a calculated risk here and potentially finding an easier path to get to the Western Conference Finals.
I disagree with that. I think it's better to lose in the first round to the defending champions and get knocked out in the play-in, which means technically you're not even a playoff team. That would be bad. The thing about the Lakers, too, is they're not – I understand you're saying the Thunder – are dangerous to them, but the Lakers are a way different team the second half of the season. They're totally elite.
Well, so are the Warriors.
And you get this, but you get the sense that LeBron picks and chooses his spots, and obviously these are going to be spots where he's picking. So he's going to be full LeBron. If Anthony Davis is on the court, big if, then I think Los Angeles is a real contender here. Might as well play it like a contender and take on the Nuggets immediately.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Now that Davis left the game yesterday, as I said, with the back and the hip spasms, maybe I want to actually, could I rest him for the Tuesday game? Okay, let's say I lose to the Pelicans, but then I don't play again until Friday, I believe, would be the second game. I could give Anthony Davis almost a full week off. He'll be on the court, ready for whoever wins the Kings-Warriors game, and I feel a lot better about that one-game winner-take-all.
Yeah, the other problem, too, is how do you tank this Pelicans game? And the Pelicans look terrible. Brandon Ingram looks like he needs to go back to wherever he was.
Well,
he's just not ready to return.
Back, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be his second game back here for the play-in, and they have trouble with the Lakers. Zion, I think LeBron does that thing where he buddies up to Zion before the game and takes him out of his headspace. Zion does not look good against the Lakers. This is going to be a tough matchup. Honestly, the Lakers have to work overtime to lose the game to the Pelicans. I'm telling you, the Lakers are good on the road, too. So this is going to be a tough game to lose.
So I really think, though, if Brandon Ingram, shakes off a little bit of the rust, he and Zion together have been awesome when they are on the floor together. It's much like a LeBron Anthony Davis situation. Like, they are much better together than obviously when they're apart. And
really?
so, yeah.
I mean, maybe
I got some metrics.
Yeah, give me the metrics. I feel like they always look awkward together. But
No,
you could be right.
They're better in, let's see, if you can stand by, I've got it for you. Here we go. This is from The Athletic. The Lakers outscore opponents by 3.2 points per 100 possessions with Anthony Davis and LeBron on the court this year, the exact same margin by which the Pels prevail with Ingram and Zion Williamson on the floor together. That's not nothing. So I did have some metrics to back it up there. You just need Ingram to play a little bit better. Again, I'm taking the calculated risk if I'm the Lakers. I know it's distasteful. I know people don't love it. But what's my ultimate goal? My ultimate goal is to get as far as I possibly can in the playoffs and hope that someone else trips up the Nuggets. What if somebody else can take them out? What if, give me a week where Anthony Davis can get healthy and I'll take my chances in a winner-take-all against the Warriors or the Kings. Because, by the way, I'm not so sure the Warriors are winning that game.
Yeah, absolutely not. So Lakers are 3.5-point favorites over the Pelicans, and I would take the Lakers in that one. I just think that actually earlier is probably better. They were exhausted. The Lakers looked really tired by the time they got to the Western Conference Finals against the Nuggets last year. I would just do this immediately. And by the way, it's interesting because the Lakers, I think if you look at the West, they are the team that kind of everyone wants to knock off Denver. I think all the other contenders like Phoenix and the Mavs, they're like, all right, maybe the Lakers can do this assignment, because it does feel like the Lakers are unique in the sense, yes, they might not stay healthy and on the court, but man, if they're all together, I think they're probably the biggest threat to the Nuggets, because I think the Mavs don't have the size. The Clippers are never going to keep it together. James Harden in Game 7, can you imagine?
No.
T-Wolves and the Thunder are too young. Phoenix just does not have the depth. So I think the Lakers are the biggest threat to the Nuggets. You might as well just go right at them.
Yeah, this is where you and I will differ. I think let someone else kind of take their shot first at the Nuggets. Let's let somebody else. It's like the Matador has to get a couple little picks into the bowl before they can actually kill the bull. You got to take a couple lumps and bruises. Maybe Jamal Murray twists an ankle. Maybe something else happens. If I'm the Lakers, I want to put this off as long as humanly possible before I would face the Nuggets if I have any shot. But we want to hear from you at 855-212-4227 about what should the Lakers do. EJ, I know you want to get in on this.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you can mess around with the play-in. I think that and maybe it's weird, but I just feel like it's also a thing of don't screw with the basketball gods, and you're in a win or go home situation. Basically, in a play-in game, you're playing as a team that you own. Like, I feel like the Lakers could try to tank and they still maybe beat the Pelicans. The Pelicans just cannot compete with the Lakers. We saw that yesterday. We've seen that all season. So I think you take your win from the Pelicans. Then you just throw your best shot at the Nuggets to see what happens.
Okay, but here's the thing about the basketball gods, because I'm a big basketball gods believer. I'm a big ball don't lie person. I believe in all of that stuff. I think that LeBron probably has a little extra,
dark magic.
Good equity, I would say, built up with the basketball gods. I know that may be polarizing. Pete's rolling his eyes. He's not a LeBron fan, but he's got a little equity built up over 21 years.
Yeah, but I mean, but there's a basketball guy who plays, for the Warriors and Steph Curry. And my thing is, do you really want to put yourself in a one-game situation where you have to beat that guy who could shoot from anywhere on the court, or you miss the playoffs entirely?
Well, by the way,
I don't know if the Warriors are making it. What if they lose?
The worst option is the Kings. The Kings absolutely
they can't cover
own
Fox.
the Lakers.
Yeah,
Domantas Sabonis is like prime Shaq against the Lakers for some reason. The Kings beat them 4 games out of 4 this year. So neither matchup is good. This is the best matchup. This is the one they got to win. This
is also a little Sacramento payback, against the Warriors in this winner-take-all, the 9-10 matchup. You'll remember last year, 7-game series, basically needed Steph Curry to drop 50 for the Warriors to even advance. Past the Kings in the first round of the playoffs, you'll remember Draymond stepping on Domantas Sabonis, a scene that Perloff and I reenacted right here in the studio because Perloff thought it was no big deal that Draymond stepped on Sabonis' chest. So you laid down on the desk here, and I stepped on you.
That was last year?
Yes,
wow, that feels like a long time. It's hard to keep your
moments of the year.
Yeah,
it's hard to keep your Draymond controversies in order. Feels like Draymond does something every year. Yeah, this is not a time. Now that you guys are talking about the Kings and the Warriors, this is not a time to mess around. The Pels are definitely the weak out of those 4 teams. The fact that you have LeBron James and Steph Curry in the play-in is amazing to me. I mean, that's the 2 greatest players of the last 20 years are in the play-in. It kind of annoys me. I wish they were in the playoffs, because whoever gets knocked out, if either one of those gets knocked out, the NBA TV ratings just plummet, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're finding a little something on the Eastern Conference side too. I said this play-in tournament's been better for the Western Conference, but put away Bulls Hawks for a second, and you get 76ers Heat as the 7-8 matchup, which is also not bad.
No, that's the Heat have had a lot of success. I mean, the Sixers are doing nothing. I can tell you that as a Sixers fan. Joel Embiid is perpetually rounding into shape. There's no way that's happening. So yeah, but to me it's the West. And you don't think the ratings would plummet if LeBron's out? Oh my God, that'd be a disaster for the NBA. Watch the officials; they're gonna run on the court and block a shot from the Kings if it comes down to that. If you have the Kings beat the Warriors,
Foster with the layup.
If you have the Kings beat the Warriors and the Kings are going to the Lakers. I mean, if Adam Silver's ever made a call to an official, that's the time to do it.
855-212-4227. We brought you the story earlier. You're welcome to weigh in on the NBA. I think the Lakers should try to tank this one. Guys, it's 2024, all right? We've seen teams try to finagle and try to get their matchups the way they want it. This is not new. This is not crazy controversial. If the Lakers are really trying to make a run, they have to avoid the Nuggets at all costs, which means, what? A little loss to the Pelicans on Tuesday. Come on. It's all it is.
Oh, my gosh.
And then you got to beat the Warriors or the Kings.
The national panic if the Lakers lose to the Pelicans is going to be so palpable.
Nah, everyone will know exactly what's going on. We also brought you the story, major scene down in Lexington, Kentucky, when Mark Pope gets introduced as the new head coach of the Wildcats. Big Dave is our number one Kentucky fan. He's calling from Kentucky. Dave, what'd you think of the madness at Rupp Arena?
Let me tell you, guys are talking about the basketball gods and all that relative to the NBA, how much cachet LeBron has. The basketball gods are hovered over Lexington, Kentucky right now, folks. They don't have time for this trivial diatribe from the NBA. Listen, I was there yesterday, got there about 2.5 hours before the doors opened. Rupp Arena was literally surrounded by miles of blue lines. It was unlike anything. I have been to Rupp Arena many, many times. The atmosphere was unlike anything that I've ever witnessed before in my life.
Dave, see, I love it. I think that Mark Pope gave you exactly what the fan base wanted. A little red meat, a little positivity. Perloff says that he's setting up the expectation now too high.
There's no such thing, Perloff. That's why people like you don't understand Kentucky basketball. He does not run from it. He made the statement that if you are not prepared, you cannot come to Kentucky and tone down the expectations. If you are not prepared to take on that challenge, then you have no business there to begin with. And that's what a previous coach did not understand. Mark Pope is the perfect guy. Listen, it's not just that he's a Kentucky guy, that he's a former player. He is a phenomenal coach. You go back and look at some of his stats from last year.
Wait, Dave.
A lot of people don't. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
You wanted Jay Billis. When we talked to you last week, you thought Jay Billis could be a dark horse candidate, that he would be a good coach. Are you happy now that they didn't go Billis and they went with Pope?
Jay Billis. Max, are you drinking this morning?
Did you say Jay Billis?
No.
Big Dave doesn't sound like a Jay. That might have been somebody else.
Wait, am I crazy? EJ, am I nuts?
I thought you also said
I thought
Jay
you said
Billis,
Jay
but maybe I'm
Billis.
tripping.
Maybe I'm thinking somebody else.
Somebody did say
Somebody
Jay Billis.
said Jay Billis. Sorry.
No. No, we talked about Jay Wright. We talked about, Petito's name came up.
Right.
Well, Dave, so if he's your fifth choice, though, why are you so excited now?
Because he's the right guy for the job. That's why people like Mitch Barnhart are making those decisions, not people like me.
I love it.
So wait, when you say the expectations are up, are we talking they might finally get to the second round here? Is that what is that what the expectation is in Lexington?
Yeah, look at you, McLovin. All right, just go ahead and ever been to Arkansas, McLovin? Maybe you need to look at a pig farm down there or something.
Dave, who's on the team next year? Let's start with that.
Who's what?
Who's on the
team? That feels like the roster has been.
Who's on Calipari's team next year, McLovin?
Oh, that's...
Who's on Houston's team next year, McLovin?
Well, Houston. I would count out. Be careful counting out Houston.
UConn's team next year, McLovin.
I don't know. The same.
No one knows. I mean, you just try to poke the bear. I mean, listen.
Dave, don't take the bait.
Dave, show back. I bet you Kentucky,
folks.
Yeah, Kentucky. First of all, the SEC is getting ridiculous in basketball. I think Kentucky is no longer that team. Dave, I'm being honest with you. Like, it's not going to be like it was in 2010.
What? I mean, What's up with you, McLovin?
he's
I'm
trolling
realistic.
you, Dave.
I'm not. No. Trolling to say that all of a sudden Kentucky's not going to be the top 3 team in the country for 5 years straight. That's not happening again.
Oh, I liked what I saw from Mark Pope. Let's get a little excitement going. You know, Calipari left. Who needs him?
McLovin, I'm so disappointed in you anymore, man. Listen, here's the thing. College basketball, I agree with you, McLovin. It's never going to be like it was. There's a lot of parity and all that. But we now have a guy in Lexington that's an excellent X's and O's coach. He gets what it means to be a part of Kentucky Wildcat basketball. The fan base is the most fired up that they'll ever be. We got a $4 million NIL pledge on Friday alone from 2 boosters. We're back, baby. Suck it up the rest of the world. Bite me, McLovin.
See you, Dave. I'm glad you had fun. I think that was a Bite Me McLovin at the end, which we can rack and play till the end of time.
Well, I mean, listen, what is it? It's now April 15th. Let's talk March 22nd when Kentucky plays in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Let's see if they get out of that game.
I'm excited about it. I like the bus pulling up into the arena. They're playing the Chicago Bulls, like Final Countdown. Not Final Countdown. What do they call it? Alan Parsons Project, I think, or maybe they were playing Final Countdown. I forgot. It was really, really cool scene. As Dave said, he got there 2.5 hours before. Place is already packed. You got people lining the streets. Like, this is what you want, a little excitement in college basketball. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
Was I wrong about did Big Dave not say Jay Billis? Who said Jay Billis? Must have been someone else.
I guess it was somebody else, but someone definitely came on the show and said that Jay Billis should be the next head coach, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah, maybe that really doesn't sound like a Big Dave take, though. Now that I think about it.
No, he's definitely ride or die Big Blue Nation. I can't imagine he said, "Let's go get a dookie."
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So sorry about that, Dave. Somebody said Jay Billis.
I was with you though. I thought it was him.
It must have been someone else. Anyway, 855-212-4227. So Kentucky gets their guy. We're asking you about the Lakers. Maybe worth it to, I don't know, not give your A-plus effort against the Pelicans in the play-in game just to avoid the Nuggets. You still get a second opportunity. You get a second chance. You play the winner of the Warriors-Kings. You get in, play the OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder. A little cushier path.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers, the more I think about it, I didn't even think about the Kings might win that game. I mean, if the Kings are the kryptonite for the Lakers, there's no way they want that game. They'd probably rather face the Nuggets than the Kings. The Kings have just consistently killed them.
Yeah, but a one-game winner-take-all to get to the next round as opposed to a 7-game series, which the Lakers aren't even going to see 7 games with the Nuggets. Let's get real.
I mean, they're 0-4 on the year. It just seems like the worst matchup. You don't think that'll get in the Lakers' head a little bit and say, if Anthony Davis is at all creaky for that game, forget it. The Kings are going to kill him. But that being said, I just assume the Warriors are going to win. Isn't that where everyone's brain is? Everyone's thinking about the Warriors as advancing. You're right. We're sleeping on these Kings.
Coming up, I had a homework assignment over the weekend. You will hear that homework assignment next. Boy, that was brutal. EJ handed out punishments on Friday, being king for a day. Did not spare anybody. At least Pete and Perloff and Bogusch got to just sort of take care of their thing lickety-split. I had to spend the weekend suffering. Fill you in with the details next. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie and Perloff Show. Huge sports weekend, but also a huge pop culture weekend. Had all sorts of stuff going on at Coachella, no doubt. Got back together. Blur got booed, basically, for you kids of the 90s like me who were big Blur fans. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were there. Olivia Rodrigo jumped on stage. It was awesome. But Maggie did not get to enjoy that kind of pop culture, but she was delving into another pop culture world.
No, I mean, first of all, Coachella sounds insufferable. That sounds like the last place I would ever want to go.
What? You don't want to go to Coachella?
No, that thing jumped the shark long ago.
You don't want to be seen and be seen with all these superstars?
What, wear like some kind of flower crown and eat a $50 turkey sandwich? No, thanks.
Wow.
No, not a fan. The
okay.
time I spent, and I'm going to say wasted, because it really was wasted on me. So EJ was king for a day on Friday, which means he got to make us all do little punishments here and there. Like Perloff had to sing, and Bilotti had to say 5 nice things about LeBron James. Bogusch had to do an all WWE themed update. Kaplan had to Photoshop himself into a Knicks jersey. I mean, everyone got their nice little things they got to do on Friday. And EJ, who knows that I've never seen a Marvel movie, and not just never seen, that's a conscious choice. It's not like somehow I just avoided the 47,000 Marvel movies that have been out there. I've been purposefully not seeing these movies because
we all have flaws, Maggie.
I'm just not into them. I just don't care. So EJ, my punishment was dropping me in the middle of something called Captain America Civil War, which as soon as I started putting it out on social media, people were incensed, big mad that I would get dropped into what is basically the third of a string of 1,000 movies.
The third of a Captain America movie, but at that point might have been like the 10th or 11th Marvel movie.
Yeah, every person under the sun is in this movie. I have no idea what's going on. So here's my review of Captain America Civil War. Who are any of these people and what are they doing? Who's on whose side? Just when I started to figure out what was actually happening, they all chose up sides and 25 more characters came so they could all fight each other in an airport. I'm going to be honest. A lot of destruction caused by these Avengers. I kind of get it. They seem to be a bit of a drag on humanity. Everywhere they go, things are blowing up, things are getting crushed, things are turning into rubble. It's like they leave destruction everywhere. As a civilian, I really don't have a moment for them. I think they should all really go away. And what do they live in some dorm together? This makes no sense. The sexual chemistry between Elizabeth Olsen and that guy in red, he's a robot. Are they going to do it? What is going on
Maggie,
here?
An android.
This is a dead end, but is it a dead end? Like, are they going to hook up? I have so many
Paul
questions
Bettany,
about this.
by the way, is super cool.
Well, but what is he, Vision?
Yep.
So
You can't actually have sex between a human and an Avenger, right?
he's not really
Just
a
up a Disney
robot.
Plus subscription, you'll find out.
I have one.
Well, then you can find out tomorrow.
Oh, no.
When did you transform into Kristen Wiig's character, Aunt Linda, by the way? This is an amazing review.
What do you mean?
What are all these people here?
It's
Who's
so
doing
loud.
what?
Guys, by the
What
way,
was that guy?
lots of
Avengers.
violence. Yeah, I don't get it.
Avengers, more like avenge my 2 hours lost.
Exactly. I did fall asleep. See, where you lost me too is I didn't understand the whole Bucky character, and he's very central. So he's a Winter Soldier, which means he drank some kind of poison when in the 80s when he was in some kind of Russian gulag. And then now sometimes he doesn't know whether he's killing Tony Stark's parents or not, but it's him, but it's not him. He's missing an arm.
By the way, I will admit the Winter Soldier stuff, they kind of went off the tracks with that one. I think most
jammed
Avengers
too
fans.
much into this movie.
The Winter Soldier is not that important in the whole Marvel universe.
Okay, another
so you're
one.
right. You had to deal with some of that weird stuff. I understand that.
Would it kill them to maybe just for a second explain what S.H.I.E.L.D. or Hydra is for people who may have been dropped into this universe? Like, way too late. The other part, I don't understand how the culmination of this movie is essentially all the Avengers taking different sides and then fighting each other, as I said, at the airport. You can't kill these people, so what's the point of them fighting? They're all got their superpowers and all of their stuff, so no one's ever going to get hurt or anything. So I'm just watching them basically, punch each other in the face and hit each other with their superpowers?
Trying to say this is the NBA regular season of fights?
Yeah.
wait,
our
what?
guy Mark Ellis said it's spring training. I was like, thank you.
Help me out here, EJ. None of them are
Almost
immortal.
all of them can definitely die.
Yeah, right.
Well, Don
So-
Cheadle didn't die. I watched him at the end of the movie.
He got
trying to
paralyzed.
He was rehabbing, though.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, he'll be
Walk
back.
it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Put some dirt on it, kid.
It's basically what Tony Stark told him to do.
Get some Robitussin.
Also, they're making these funny quips to each other while they're also trying to kick each other's butts. I don't get it.
Welcome to the Marvel Universe, which are basically 2-hour comedy movies with some action in them. Yeah, the whole thing is to set up Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland and Paul Rudd for one-liners. That's the whole magic
I
of
thought
Marvel.
they're supposed to hate each other, though.
No,
By the end of
what?
the movie, you don't think that Tony has some hatred?
Right, so he finds out that Bucky killed his parents. This is my review of Captain America Winter, what did I watch? Civil War?
Civil War.
Winter Soldier is a good movie, too.
It's a great one. Second one.
Definitely won't be watching that. I don't know. And it's like the Accords, like they were going to sign some Accords, like this is some high-level diplomacy. Get out of here. Now, as a positive, I will say that Robert Downey, they're all excellent actors. You were right about that. It does make it a little bit more palatable because they did not skimp on any of the characters. Like, everyone is really good at their role. I just don't know what their roles are, nor do I care.
So it sounds like, even though you struggle with this movie, it sounds like your team Iron Man. Your team, they should have signed the Accords, and that they need to have checks and balances.
Checks and balances, absolutely. Come on. You can't just be all Lagos, Ukraine, whereas Sokovia, which I found out is not real, which I thought was real for like maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to Google this. It's like,
I mean, I don't mean
real.
to bring that to current events, but good luck negotiating with Iran. Checks and balances are one thing.
Well, thanks. You want to make it real. I'm just saying, I guess I think there should be some checks and balances on the Avengers.
That is
you think Elizabeth Olsen has control over what she's doing? She doesn't.
It's an idealistic view of world politics to think that there's going to be checks and balances and logic will presume at the end of the day.
This isn't real.
Not how it works. No, it is, though. It says that, like, that is generally the real. They were taking the real conflict in how you deal with foreign events and putting it into a movie. Now, listen, what happened in Segovia was terrible. And turns out I had to Google the same thing that Maggie did. Is there a real place called Sokovia?
Yeah, it's not.
No, there's not.
Gosh.
I was going to Google Wakanda, but I know that one.
There's actually, Sokovia had a great Olympic team in 1996 basketball.
Great fencing team.
That's who Doug Collins lost to in the Olympics, right?
Yeah. There you go.
You have to, Chadwick Boseman, is that his first Marvel movie?
Marvel movie, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He really pulls off that accent, and that's a credit to him. So I thought the acting was awesome. The acting was very, very good, but that I had no idea what was going on, and I still don't.
It is fun, though, to see. I actually rewatched this movie 2 weeks ago, randomly. It's just fun to see Scarlett Johansson and all these great actors just making one-liners. And Paul Rudd shows up. Why can't anything Paul Rudd's in is awesome by definition? Name a bad movie that dude has ever been in.
No, I know, but I think Ant-Man. But here's the thing: people were telling me a lot on social media. Oh, this is what I use to turn my brain off and relax. Like, what about this movie is like relaxing? It's just one destructive thing after the next.
That's the Masters for me.
That's what you like about it.
Oh, well, to turn my brain off?
Yeah.
The Masters.
I get it.
Oh, the Masters. Right. So watching Scottie Scheffler is your white noise.
So, Maggie, you don't like Coachella. You don't like the Marvel Universe. What do you like? Most of your entertainment is designed for 4-year-olds at this point in your life.
Good episode of Blippi the other day, guys. I mean, catch the fever.
And Blaze in his trucks, right?
Yeah, all that. No, it's just thank you, EJ, for reinforcing to me that this is just not my thing.
But what if you started from the beginning?
I would never.
Yeah, but what if though? In the world of multiverse of Maggie and Perloff, what if you started from the beginning and you actually knew all the backstory? Do you think you could have absorbed it better than you did yesterday and Saturday?
Do you think that I would have to reimagine a totally different life for myself, where I'm a Marvel person now? Yes. So a helpless, single, sad. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait,
listen, I get it. I'm not with the masses on this one.
I do have an EJ question as the Marvel savant here.
Yes.
Why was this the selection? Why not even the original Captain America where they CGI Chris Evans into a weakling at first?
Oh, this was the selection because it was supposed to be the most confusing and most difficult for Maggie. This was not necessarily to try to bring her into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though this is arguably the best movie they've ever done.
Wow, that's not saying much. But do you understand?
Saying a lot. It was an awesome movie.
Do you understand now the amount of when I eventually just cave and get the Botox, how much more I'm going to need in my forehead from just squinting at the screen for 2.5 hours being like, what is going on? I don't know.
This is what happens when you pick North Carolina to win the title.
I know. Gosh, joke's on me.
So wait, let me ask about some other, I think 5 of the top 15 movies of all time are Marvel movies, right? The other ones, do you not like Star Wars movies?
I've only seen the original 3 from the 70s.
Oh, jeez.
Those are the ones you need to see, to be honest.
Avatar.
Hated it.
So you
in the theater.
Hated it.
So you don't like these big, massive, whatever you call them, tentpole movie
popcorn
things.
movies.
Yeah, not really.
Not Fast and Furious for you?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I
no, you shouldn't like that one.
Fast and Furious?
A lot of people like it, man.
No.
I thought everybody liked Fast and Furious. You got to give them a chance. They're not bad.
I did. No thanks.
Gave him about 9 chances. They were up to 10.
That's 50.
They're getting greedy now.
Here's a question. How do they keep... So this is one thing with the Marvel and Avengers, and I had to watch Captain America Civil War over the weekend as a punishment, and boy, was it. at some point, like the stunt people are amazing, but like at some point the stunts with CGI become so over the top. How do you even top it? Like, how is this even cool? It's like Fast and the Furious. What more are you gonna do? Like, how many cliffs are you gonna drive off?
Have the real actors do real stunts,
like Tom Cruise. I think that that's why the writing and the lines and the funny actors. I think that's because they know the stunts are going to get boring at a certain point. So, and by the way, Marvel has completely fallen off a cliff. Now they're terrible. Like the last 3 movies have been awful.
When was this movie made?
This was made, 2017, 2016, I want to say?
Get out of here.
They peaked.
This is an oldish movie now.
Yeah, 17, 18, 19, they went from that to Black Panther, which was probably the height of their movie.
Right.
Black Panther was amazing. And that actually is really good.
That was a really good
Nominated
movie.
That's
for
a really
Oscar,
good.
yeah.
And then the Avengers were really good. And now they just they hit a wall. The last 3 movies have been terrible, right, EJ?
Man was really rough. A lot of these movies have been rough. But X-Men 97, Disney Plus, if you're not watching.
Okay, but wait.
Meanwhile, it took me a minute and a half to even find this movie, which doesn't sound very long until you're actually scrolling through the Marvel page trying to find Civil
Isn't there
War.
a search function? Why didn't you just search?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be right there.
Hey, Maggie, let me ask you this. What kind of movie do you like? I know you like Caddyshack 2 and all the 80s comedies. What are the modern kind of movie? Like, what are you looking for in a movie? Because I don't think there are a lot of great artistic movies around now either. I'm not sure what choices you have if you don't like Marvel.
remakes of the 80s movies.
Yeah.
I can't wait until they redo Airplane.
Yes.
Which I actually am excited about that. I don't know. I guess maybe not a movie person right now.
Yeah, I mean...
But I've seen the classics. I've seen them all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have a choice right now because they're not doing movies like they used to. So now you kind of have to be in this universe.
You know what I did
You have no other choice.
I did like Tar.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Wow. This is a tough morning.
Did like Tar.
Tar didn't like Tar.
Kate Blanchett as a composer. Bogusch, you have to have headlines. Save me.
Nobody's 76ers finished the regular season winning 8 straight, but they could not escape the East play-in. But Tobias Harris will have the guys ready.
2 days to really game plan and get ready for that. And, it's our season on the line, so it's now or never for us. And every game here on out that we play is a must-win.
He and the Sixers will host the Heat, followed by Bulls-Hawks for some reason on Wednesday night. Philly actually lost a 3-way tie with Orlando and Indiana. The Magic got the 5 seed because they're the division champs, and the Pacers got number 6 because they won the season series with the Sixers. The 7 seed will face the Knicks in round 1. They're the 2 seed because
We
they
are the New York Knicks.
beat Chicago yesterday, and the Bucks lost to Orlando. Now, EJ, I've got to ask you a question again as our Knick expert here.
Okay.
I saw a lot of Knick fans complaining about the possible first-round matchup of we've got to play either the Sixers or the Heat, but the Bucks stink, and they get to play the Pacers. But isn't the problem not Milwaukee not meeting expectations, but the bigger issue is Embiid's knee, right? Like the Sixers shouldn't be in that spot, in that 7th spot, to possibly have to deal or play with the Knicks in round 1.
Yeah, I feel like the whole Knicks fans are upset about playing Sixers or Miami is a bit overblown. I also see a lot of fans saying, "Hey, we're not ducking any smoke here. Whoever wants it, come get it." So I don't think we should be ducking anybody at this point. You're number 2 seed. You earned it. Jalen Brunson's playing as good as anybody in the Eastern Conference, so why not? But I think you make a good point. Something I mentioned on BetQL last night. Joel Embiid, I don't know if he can finish a 7-game series. Like, the way he's been playing, he's playing well, and then he tweaks his knee, and he's out for a quarter or out for the rest of the game.
Right.
And if you're going to get the Sixers, you probably want to get him while he's still trying to round out in some kind of shape.
Forget the Sixers. You've been down on the Miami Heat. Don't you realize we're talking about Marvel? They're Thanos. They're coming.
I'm not afraid
They're
of
coming.
Miami.
Why would you possibly say that? It sounds so naive.
Hey, by the way, Thanos never showed up in this movie.
No,
Yeah,
it's
that's
before
later.
pre-Thanos. I think he might have been in one of the post-credit scenes that you didn't even know were there, probably.
Who's Thanos?
He was in the G League at this point.
Got it.
But why is not everyone in the NBA terrified of the Miami Heat?
'Cause we've
What do they have to
watched
do
them
to
play.
prove that they're ridiculously good in the playoffs?
Because it's every year is a new year, and what the unfortunate thing about the Miami Heat is we yell about their accomplishments, but we whisper their failures. So we yell about the last 2 years. We forgot the year before they got swept in the first round. Like, are they a dangerous team? They've been a dangerous team in the playoffs, but we've also seen them flop in the first round too. So I'm not just convinced that what I've seen from the Heat this year is going to carry over from last season. I don't think that this is a very good team. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, the Knicks. I mean, you're going to get 45 a night from Jalen Brunson against a team like the Heat. We'll see.
He cooked them last year. Jalen Brunson had
Who
no
won that
problem
series?
in Miami Heat. The problem was Julius Randle, who won't be playing. So he's the reason why they probably lost last season. He's not playing in this series, so let's see what they do trying to cover Brunson on his own.
By the way, we were talking about the Lakers possibly losing intentionally to the Pelicans to avoid the Nuggets.
Yeah.
The storyline, should the Knicks, not only did the Knicks get the harder seed, 2-7, but they got home court advantage that they're not going to need. Because I'll tell you right now, that 3 seed is not advancing. The Bucks can't beat anybody. So I don't even know. The Knicks didn't even need this home court. Instead, they play all their players deep into overtime. And now they're exhausted.
Thibodeau,
Thibodeau is built to win regular season games. I just do not see this happening in the playoffs.
I think you'll see the Bucks advance, and I think we won't have to worry about Philly because I think you'll see Miami beat the Sixers.
That's a hot
so I think
take.
a lot of this complaints about Embiid or the Bucks, they're not going to. I think the Bucks are going to win, and I think that because I think Giannis is going to come back just like we saw Luka come back 2 years ago from a calf injury, and I think you're going to see Miami win. So the whole complaints about dealing with Embiid won't even come to fruition.
What else we got, folks?
Scottie Scheffler is the second golfer to win 2 Masters in his first 5 starts at Augusta. He's also the 4th youngest with 2 green jackets. Just imagine how good he'd be if he did some jumping jacks. Someone wanted more emotion during his 4-shot win over Ludwig Oberg. Here's why you didn't get it.
I tried not to let my emotions get the best of me this time. I kept my head down. I don't even think I took my hat off and waved to the crowd when I was walking up 18. I did my best to stay in the moment. I wanted to finish off the tournament the right way.
Because he didn't the last time. If you remember 2 years ago, he 4-putted through nerves on 18, barely hanging on to win. Yesterday, closed out easily, got the 4-shot win. And then there was a fist pump or two once the event was actually all over.
Yeah, that's the people's champ right there. I didn't even take my hat off and acknowledge the crowd.
I get that, by the way. The panic I feel when it's a close 18th hole. Talking about, I know, Pete, you like to relax. Yeah, but don't you guys, the Masters is very relaxing with the birds. It's being so loud this year, by the way.
Yeah, they really overdid it with the bird chirping sound, no?
Definitely. But that putt and 18, when you have the lead, I feel anxiety in every cell in my body. You guys aren't like that when a guy has to hit a putt?
No, but they've trained their whole lives for this.
There's no training to be up 1 shot on the 18th hole of any tournament. There's nothing you can do to evade. So I understand Scottie just keeping his head down, pretend you're not here, just like stay in the moment. You want him to be like Phil and talking to guys in the gallery.
Just
That's not going to happen.
How about Andrew Kaplan saying you can't overdo the birds? Strong disagree.
Okay.
It felt a little loud, like the mix minus wasn't right on the broadcast.
To make up maybe for Scheffler being boring.
Okay.
More birds.
Is anyone taking a list of things Maggie doesn't like during the segment? I got Coachella, Marvel Universe, and the birds at the Masters. Who are you going to go after next? Ryan Gosling? What has the highest Q rating?
Let's keep in mind Paw Patrol from last week.
Oh, Paw Patrol.
You guys already know my thoughts on Bradley Cooper.
Right.
Bradley Cooper. Oh, my gosh.
Fraud fan.
Who hurt you, Maggie?
The Bills.
All right. Jurickson Profar's tie-breaking 3-run double top 7 got the Padres a 6-3 win at Dodger Stadium, but that's not as cool as this.
Star checks on the runner, throw to second, a fake throw, a real throw, went into center field. A hidden ball trick. We were all full. Then the game is over.
So what exactly did you just hear?
Chelsea pitcher George Starr executes the hidden ball trick to perfection. The Crusaders infielders sell the ball going into the outfield, but it's Starr who makes the tag to preserve a 4-3 win over Audubon in one of the wildest plays of the year.
All of that.
An indie wrestling announcer?
I love it.
That
is a high school highlight.
The BFALivestream.com, which I think they also sell cars on after the games. I mean, that was
Sunday.
Yeah. Monster Mash.
Sunday.
Again, if it's not clear, pitcher fakes a throw to second base, a pickoff throw. Whoever's covering second pretends the ball is in center field, so the runner gets up and starts going towards third base, and the pitcher runs over and tags him, and that's how Delsey beat Audubon in New Jersey high school baseball over the weekend.
I mean, kind of early in the season, too, for the hidden ball trick. I mean, boys, baseball just started.
No, you got to do it when you can. I tried that, not that trick, but the hidden ball trick at first base a bazillion times. It worked like 3. So you got to get it. You got to try it, Maggie. It's not
a volume game.
You were a first baseman, Bogusch?
For CYO baseball, I played first base because I was the only one capable of playing first base.
Nice.
Does that mean because people couldn't catch the ball to people throwing to first?
It was a fielding. Yeah, I was good at like scooping throws and stuff like that. Like
Gotcha.
I mean, I wasn't a good baseball player, but I was well trained, I guess. Like, I knew what I was doing, and not everyone on the team knew the nuances of baseball.
You're a glue guy.
I was a glue guy on good teams.
You're the
I was a
fundamentals
good
guy.
player on my CYO team based on the roster. But I would always do like fake the throw back to the pitcher, hoping the guy would then step off of first, but retake his lead, and then I'd tag him on the hit. But it happened a couple of times.
Wait a minute. You're doing that in a CYO league? I thought we were
100%.
talking about like varsity high school or at least.
No, CYO, 7th grade CYO, hidden ball tricks, stealing signs. We were all in.
Wow.
All in, yeah.
I thought, sorry, I'm thinking this is you as an adult. I'm like, wow, you got to be a real bleep
No, this
to
is
do the hidden
12-year-old
ball
me
trick and like
being
a
a bleep.
beer league. I'm like, wow.
No, preteen me being a bleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little more forgivable.
Thank you. The WNBA draft is tonight. The Sky and Lynx made a trade yesterday with Chicago ending up with the 7th pick. Number 8 goes to Minnesota. Young players involved as well. The Sky now have picks 3, 7, and 13 for the festivities this evening. Guys, back to you.
Bogusch, thank you so much and appreciate all of that. Hidden ball trick and everything. Coming up, we play a little NFL Do You Believe It? We've got that for you next. Maggie Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
What the is Aaron Rodgers up to today?
Getting in a workout. Welcome back to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We check in on Aaron Rodgers, as we do a lot. Running steps, Perloff, and working out with the USC football team. And we got photos in the New York Post, and he looks gassed. Whoever took these pictures and put them out, obviously they sent them to the Post, or somehow the Post got a hold of them. This is doing him no favors. He looks so tired. He looks like he's throwing up at one point. He's not. He's spitting out water. He has to sit down on the side of the curb. I mean, this is an athlete trying to get ready for a big comeback, and it looked like a brutal workout.
You know, it's funny. I actually haven't thought about Aaron Rodgers, the athlete, in a long time. He's been distracting with so many different things, potential VP. Like, dude has to get in shape at some point. It just dawned on me, oh, boy, he's got an actual season coming up.
He looks just... I don't know how else to put these photos except they just are not that flattering, because it looks like a photographer caught him in the worst moments of his life after this grueling exercise.
Oh, boy. Still, this is one of the more positive headlines for Aaron Rodgers in this offseason. You will give me that.
Sure, it's one of the fewer. It's not very controversial. He was on a podcast recently saying the moment that his Achilles popped last year in week 1, he did think that his career was over. So the fact that he's been able to come back, or he's attempting this big comeback, but man, how else would you describe these pictures? He looks like he's in agony over this workout.
Yeah, no, this is he's got a lot of work to do here.
Weird thing about these pictures is there's those where he's obviously exhausted.
Yeah.
But then he threw on these like very designer sunglasses. I feel like when you do this kind of workout, you got to wear like, I don't know, some Oakley, like very athletic fit. Like he looks like he's going to the beach after this workout.
Maybe he's got some kind of sponsorship deal. I have no idea. But yeah, there you go. Aaron Rodgers needed take 5 after a really grueling workout.
Honestly, as a Jets fan, I actually loved seeing this.
Yeah, you should. You got plenty of time for him to get back in shape.
Yeah, and to me, like, this tells me, oh, he really is, like, committed to football. Because, like, the way he's been talking the last few months, I had major doubts. But if he's putting himself through this kind of torture, because he definitely looks like he's being tortured.
He does.
Then I feel good about the way he's approaching the season.
Listen, there's never, say what you want about Rodgers, he's a quirky guy, and maybe more than that, but the commitment to football has got to be there. He wouldn't be going through all of this just for a vanity play. I think he really does want to prove to himself that he can come back. I mean, and he wants to win.
There was some doubts about that just a couple weeks ago.
No kidding.
But, I mean, yeah, this Aaron Rodgers, keep hitting them stairs. Keep hitting them mountains. I love what I see.
Oh, he is tired. Coming up, Tiger Woods. His worst performance in a major. But was this encouraging? Get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
It's Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Tiger Woods of the 60 players who made the cut at the Masters this weekend, he finished dead last. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. While Scottie Scheffler wins the green jacket, Perloff his second in 3 years. Tiger Woods was really the second story, or to many people, the first story, because it was looking quite promising. After 2 rounds, not only did he make the cut, that was his 24th cut that he made at Augusta. It was a record. Then we get to Saturday, and that's where the wheels really came off. He shot a 10 over on Saturday, followed that up with a 77 on Sunday. So he's 23 shots off the lead. And as I said, finished dead last. This was not an encouraging outing for Tiger Woods.
I mean, you guys aren't impressed that he got through 4 days at the Masters?
Is that where the bar is right now?
Well, the fact that he made the cut without having played this year, to me, is pretty crazy. I mean, the dude has not been playing. Can you imagine, like, your warm-up tournament is the Masters? He made the cut. Do you realize some of the names that did not make the cut?
Yeah, but nobody really knows Augusta like Tiger Woods. If there's any course that he could proverbially roll out of bed and play well at, it would be Augusta. I mean, he's had so much success there. It's one of the courses he's had a lot of success at. That to me was not the impressive part. I mean, listen, everything Tiger has done post-car accident has been, to a certain extent, impressive. I just think that when we're talking about making the cut is now the new goal and not actually winning tournaments, what are we doing? Because this is Tiger Woods we're talking about. Yeah. This is not your average run-of-the-mill golfer. This is somebody who it's either history or nothing. You know, it's either you're going after the major championships or trying to win again, or you're basically just playing out the string here. And I don't love that for Tiger, considering the heights that he reached as a golfer.
Yeah, by that one thing about knowing the tournament, I mean, lots of former winners. I mean, Sergio didn't make the cut. Bubba Watson won it twice, didn't make the cut. Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, those guys didn't even make the cut. Tiger was way ahead of them after the first 2 days, and he hadn't played any golf. I mean, I think he walks away from that and thinking, man, if I can hold my back together, I can win another one of these things. And I think we were all thinking that Friday. I understand Saturday was a total disaster, but can you imagine if he got to do 4 weeks of lead up to a tournament? I mean, it's a little scary that he could do this with no playing this year at all.
Well, let's hear from Tiger Woods. Can we hear cut 11, please, Pete? Tiger on how to get his body ready to play 72 holes moving forward.
Well, just keep lifting, keep the modes going, keep the body moving, keep getting stronger, keep progressing, and hopefully the practice sessions will keep getting longer.
Okay. I don't see Tiger keep lifting, first of all. I mean, listen, his people know better than we do, but that doesn't seem like the right move. But here's the other part, is I think the idea that he's ever going to be able to practice and prepare in the way that he did when he was in his prime, that's a figment of our and his imagination. Yeah. It could get better, but he can't waste the swings on practice that he needs to get through a tournament. He's never gonna have that same preparation. It's got to be all different at this point, and that's essentially what he said leading up to the Masters. Like, I can't go full throttle on my practice rounds because I need to save all that stuff to get through a 4-day tournament. And I don't see how that's going to change. Sure, he might feel better, he might feel stronger, but he's never going to get the type of the practice in that he used to.
But I don't understand, in practicality, what are you talking about? So you're saying that he shouldn't hang him up? Because obviously he thinks he can contend. We know that he thinks he can. You could, even though that was sort of a milquetoast quote, I think he thinks that he could still be in this thing, and that's really all that matters. The other thing, too, is I kind of think he can, too. I think, man, if that was the way he was playing this year, because it did not look good this year. As he gets farther and farther away from the car accident and maybe somehow figures a way to relax his back, I still think there's going to be another tournament. I think he's going to make a run because, listen, if he has 10 more years of this, there's going to be a major where he gets hot.
Oh my gosh, 10 more years of this, I'm going to feel like I'm watching the longest goodbye in history.
Golf.
And I feel like I'm going to watch somebody who is holding on to something that's just not there anymore. Again, not befitting of a guy of his stature. Like, this is the thing about Tiger, fair or unfair for him, he'll play golf for the rest of his life. But why is he still in it at this point, right?
To win a major.
To win a major. He's so far from that, Perloff, and I know anyone could get hot at any time. That's not even with his goals. He said after this week, I thought I had a good week. He said, I thought I had a good week. He shot a 10 over on Saturday. That is not the Tiger Woods that we are accustomed to. If he's going to change the calculus here and say, listen, I'm just about making cuts, I'm about finishing tournaments, I'm about giving it a go, then that's one thing. But he's still out there thinking he can win tournaments.
Yeah.
That's impossible. This is a pipe dream now for him.
I don't know. I'm looking at the upcoming major sites. Man, he owns some of these courses.
In 2008.
Well, I know they're going to Valhalla, which I know he's won at. Like, there's so many clubs. I'm like, ooh, Tiger owns that club. Tiger's good at that one. Tiger's good at this one. I just think all you need is 4 days of magic.
Okay,
I mean,
but
Phil won at 50, and PJ, nobody saw that coming. So I think that's an important sort of precedent to this. I'm telling you, Tiger just sticks around. He's going to get hot one day.
They should launch a full throttle investigation how Phil won that major. But anyway, so Tiger wins the Masters in 2019, right? The out of nowhere Masters. And this was a pre-car accident. The last time he had won a major before that, Perloff, was 2008.
Right. So he had an 11-year
gap. So we're not talking like, oh, he had been this really consistent chess champion after championship after championship. It had been a really long gap to begin with. What makes you think there isn't another tremendous gap like now to the end of his career?
Well, I mean, there could be a gap. That could be just as encouraging, that he went 11 years without a major, then he won a major when no one thought he could. Obviously, that's inspiration for Tiger to stick around and keep trying. And I tell you, all it takes is 4 days. Now, listen, once it starts going south with Tiger nowadays, he just sort of gives up. But if he's in the running, who knows? Get that adrenaline going, get your back straight. And besides, what do we have to lose? What else are we watching? You were talking earlier in the show about how Scottie Scheffler is somewhat boring as the dominant force in the sport. I understand there are people who think there's way too much Tiger and he's holding other people back. But come on, why not have him out there? It's something to watch.
Well, I mean, listen, it was like one of the the dominant storyline coming in because Scheffler was such a big favorite. So Scheffler was the biggest betting favorite at the Masters since Tiger Woods,
right.
And so I think there was a little, like, not a fait accompli, but okay, we'll leave the leaderboard and then we'll just see what Tiger can do. And because he was 1 over and 7 shots off the lead after Friday makes the cut, you're thinking, oh, here's a chance. And then it completely unraveled and fell apart. And you say, oh, well, he could always just put together 4 good days.
Yep.
What has to lead up to the 4 good days? It's not, again, rolling out of bed. I say that he could roll out of bed and be good at the Masters, but that's not what it's about. We know it takes way more prep than that. And so to think, oh, he can come into a major and have 4 good days, he's got to have like good weeks leading up to 4 good days. That doesn't just happen but the snap of your fingers.
Yeah, but he played in a bunch of tournaments last year, so he's been hurt. I understand. Again, all it takes is 1 tournament. That's all we need out of Tiger. And even he doesn't even need to win it, just to be in contention and be the most exciting thing ever. And maybe one of these British Open tournaments where it's just a weird course and the weather goes sideways and maybe he's just hanging around. I'm telling you, Sunday, Tiger Woods in that red shirt, it does make a difference. And I think even the steeliest of golfers like Scott Scheffler, they might get a little nervous with Tiger around. It's just the way it is.
We're talking about Tiger Woods, and he thought this was encouraging this week at the Masters, where of the 60 players to make the cut, he finished dead last. I don't know how that was encouraging, but you mentioned the red shirt and Tiger and always wearing the red on Sundays. I was watching yesterday and I felt like it was like sad. It was like a mockery of the red shirt. It's like when you watch I don't know, one of EJ's beloved like superheroes and they're past their prime or something, and you're still trying to wear the suit and still trying to hold on to it, and like, oh, red. It's like, why does he even have to wear the red anymore? I mean, you just shot a 10 over on Saturday. You have no shot in this tournament. Maybe he doesn't have to wear red. Like,
well, I don't understand.
It's mocking him.
Let me ask you this. What would have been better, not making the cut or doing this?
I mean, make the cut, that's fine, but is that going to be the goal now? Is the goal to make the cut and finish the tournament? Daly's in our chat. And by the way, things have tweaked just a little bit around here. YouTube.com/Infinity Sports Net is where you can find us on YouTube. Infinity Sports Net also on Twitch, where Daly says Tiger can't even walk the course right now. Not 4 rounds in 4 days. That's the issue. It's painful to watch Tiger try to play like
Well,
this.
he did walk the course here. So that's something. By the way, I'm looking.
That's something. Walking the course. We're talking about one of the greatest golfers of all time.
I'm just looking at these standings. I mean, some of the top golfers in the world didn't even make the cut. Wyndham Clark is on fire these days. Didn't make the cut. Dustin Johnson didn't make the cut. He was plus 13 after 2 days. Jordan Spieth. All these guys didn't even make the cut. Tiger killed them the first 2 days. That's unbelievable, considering he hadn't been playing.
Perloff, Tiger finished 2 shots worse than Vijay Singh, who's 61.
Big deal.
Tiger's 48.
Yeah. Dustin Johnson had plus 13 in 2 days.
These guys are not the caliber of Tiger, right?
I mean,
these guys are nowhere close. Spieth we haven't heard from in a very long time.
Not the caliber. You're talking about, I'm not talking about some PGA pro. This is Justin Thomas, Sergio Garcia, Victor Hovland, Jordan Spieth, and Bubba Watson. This is the elite of the elite. I'm telling you, the Masters is a tough tournament. You saw even Colin Morikawa and Max Homa. Those guys melted down on the back nine. This can happen at that course. I don't care how many times you play it.
Yeah, I remember talking to you last week when you didn't want to hear about just walking the course or just finishing was this great achievement for Tiger.
Well, to you said he wasn't going to. I mean, honestly, you guys really, I understand it was a bad tournament, but on Friday, it did cross your mind, oh boy, Tiger could be scary.
Well, it started off the day. Remember, he had to finish up the 5 holes from Thursday because weather got in the way. And I believe the quote out of you was, Tiger looks like he's going to Ralph. He looked pretty bad on Friday. To his credit, played well in that second round. And again, was 1 over and 7 shots off the lead. And it took everything out of him, clearly, to put together that kind of day because he completely imploded on Saturday. I mean, a 10 over.
Yeah. 7 shots off the lead at the Masters after 2 days. I understand why he's encouraged. I just would not bet against him, assuming that he continues to want to play. I mean, he's got a long time here. And also, too, Goff is, I just read recently, Goff is setting all kinds of, older players are doing things they never did before. I think it's the clubs. I think it's fitness. He has a long time to win another major. He's going to win another major. And I don't care where you are, where I am going to call you and say, aha,
well,
I told you so.
Scottie Scheffler's 27. So if he keeps this up, he's not going anywhere. Max Homa's in his 20s. All these guys, I know you like saying it's an old man game. It really is a young man's game. It is.
I hear you.
48-year-old Tiger Woods with his broken down body. It's going to be tough. Let's go to the phones. 855-212-4227. Rich is in Chicago. Wants to talk some golf with us. Hey, Rich, how are you?
Morning. I have to assume the bad guy. It wasn't Dave from Kentucky. Your memory is very good. That was me.
Was it you, Rich? You said that Jay Billis should be the new head coach of the Wildcats, and I blamed it on Big Dave. How dare I?
Yeah. Well, now you can rip me.
Well, I mean, I think Mark Pope was probably the better choice, considering the crowd was in a frenzy over the weekend.
I didn't call about that, but let me give you a couple of quick tidbits on him. He's already lost 3 of Calipari's recruiting class, which was ranked 2nd.
Yeah.
Now they're ranked 11th.
Yeah.
So
we still got a little way to go, though.
Well, we'll see. But I mean, in essence, he's lost 3 of the key guys that were 4 and 5-star guys. We'll see how he does. But I kind of liken this to Nebraska bringing back Scott Frost.
Well, that didn't go well.
Same deal. Now, the hometown boy, he played for us. I think that's really dangerous, and especially, and you pointed this out, or Perloff did, they're setting the expectations. Let me tell you, Perloff's right about the SEC. I'm an SEC guy, and they're not going to win the SEC for 3 or 4 years. The league is too tough. They're probably the 4th best team this past year, and you saw what they did in the playoffs. So I'm not a big fan, and I know you think Billis was a joke. I don't.
Yeah.
I'll still take Billis.
Interesting. Well, Jay Billis is obviously an incredibly well-respected person, and he's kind of the voice of the sport now. I'd say, the number 1 commentator.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's close.
Well, I mean, our guy John Rothstein, Seth Davis. I mean, there's a lot of people who cover college hoops.
Well, right, but I mean, those are journalists. He's the
former player.
Yeah. I mean, former player. Who is even Jay Williams? I guess Seth Greenberg. But Jay Billis is sort of the voice. He's sort of the conscience of the sport, I think. I mean, he's a big deal, I think.
Why would he go to coach Kentucky, though? No
great
offense,
question.
Rich. It never made a lot of sense to me because he doesn't have a connection to the program either. This isn't Jeff Saturday going to coach, the Colts and trying to restore some order there, whatever they thought that was going to do.
Well, that's why I brought up Scott Frost.
Yeah.
I don't think
I hear you.
Yeah, I don't think that's a smart idea anywhere. But anyway, let me tell you real briefly, and I'll jump off, about the PGA. Why I told your producer the topic was why they're in trouble.
Yeah.
And this is just demographic data. Their ratings for the entire year are off about 18% versus previous year. 18.
Yeah,
So,
I believe it. I think people are confused about the live thing. They, it's really, how do you expect the average fan or casual fan to be really keeping tabs on this? Guys aren't competing against each other anymore. And then you get to the majors, and the biggest story is Tiger at 48.
Well, the question is, who's got the charisma and the personality to lead the tour and bring back the average fan? I'm kind of an average fan in golf. I like it, but I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah.
But, a lot of these people tuned in, and everybody knows this. When Woods was a front runner, he kind of changed the game.
Yep.
He changed the prize money. The ratings went wild. There isn't anybody. I'm interested in your guys' comments. Can you name two people that are rivals or have personalities that would be similar in the next 5 years? I can't name them.
Well, Rich, and thank you for the call. We were talking before, good to hear from you, about Scottie Scheffler and him being the face of golf, if that's a good thing for golf. And I said no, and Perloff said yes, because Scheffler doesn't really have a ton of charisma, at least not that he lets the public in on, and he doesn't have a natural rival. There was a Brooks Koepka-Bryson DeChambeau rivalry, I thought, that had some juice to it, but now both of those guys are playing for live. So
if we're talking
good luck
Tiger,
finding them.
Listen, there's only one person who could rival Tiger.
Phil.
Well, no, moving forward, a young guy. It's got to be his son. That's the only chance Goff has, because otherwise, there's not a young player. There's some very popular young players. You mentioned Max Homa, Zalatoris. Like, there are a lot of guys that everyone likes, but to be a singular force as popularity, it's got to be Charlie or bust. Because I honestly, he says, name a couple guys. There's no way there's going to be a guy like Tiger. This is not going to happen. And that's why I'm settling with Scheffler as a dominant force. At least have a guy at the top we could all shoot for.
855-212-4227. See you guys on the phones. We'll get back into Tiger Woods and to Scottie Scheffler, what we watched at the Masters over the weekend. Also coming up, it's okay to boo the home team. Get to that in a minute. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. There was a moment, and all of you in this room have to admit it, on Friday when Tiger Woods was just a handful of shots off the lead where you thought, wow, maybe he's going to do it again. And then Saturday, not so much. My point is, Tiger could come back. And honestly, I'd rather have that apple hanging out there just to something to strive for and something to watch for. I say, Tiger, keep playing till the end of time.
We don't have to worry about that. He's not going anywhere, but I think that the calculus has changed now on Tiger. It's walking the course 4 days in a row. It's making the cut. And he came in dead last at the Masters out of the 60 players that made the cut and said it was a great week. So I don't know. This is not the Tiger who, was foaming at the mouth to do everything he could to break Jack's record. I just think we're watching a different guy, and to claim we're not is doing him and everyone a disservice. Everyone just sounds like they're living in a fantasy world.
Everybody knows he's hurt. I mean, does anybody not know that?
No, but you just said, don't you think on Friday you thought you believed a little? I'm like, no, I didn't, because I knew what was coming, which is the other shoe dropping.
See, that's where I don't believe you.
I said on Friday I thought he should retire. So,
yeah, but you thought when he was right around even, you're telling me you didn't think, ooh, this might be something.
No, because it wasn't Sunday, it was Friday. And if it had been Sunday, then maybe you'd be like, all right, well, can he hold it together for another hour? But no, when it's Friday, we just had so much golf still to play.
There's going to be a major that's coming. I'll bet you there's a major this year where Tiger is probably going into Saturday 5 shots off the lead. And you got to guarantee me that he can't do it. Because I think deep inside, you've watched Tiger as much as I have. You know that there could be something there.
Yeah, but we do this a lot with athletes at the end, And
at the end, it's golf. There's no end.
Well,
there's death. That's the end.
Jeez. Good Lord. Adrian's in Maryland is up here on Maggie and Perloff. Hey, Adrian, good morning.
Hey, guys, good morning. Hey, let me just say a couple things here. First, Scottie Scheffler 100% has the charisma to be that guy. Just like Tiger back in the 2000s, you didn't hear about, he was probably the only player, would you say, would you take Tiger or the field? And people would say, I'd take Tiger.
Yep.
Scheffler's the same way right now. Would you take Scheffler or the field?
Right, but that's not charisma, Adrian. Charisma is like the public loves you, and you get a reaction from people. Scheffler's just really good at golf. He's amazing at golf, of course.
Well, the real golfers like Scheffler. They know the charisma.
Yeah, he's
now,
nice.
The casual fan that wakes up and watches the Masters and puts Masters pants on and does all this other stuff, that's different. As far as Tiger, Perloff, you're delusional. You're delusional about Tiger winning another major. He won't win him another major. I think this is his farewell tour this year.
Interesting.
Could be.
I think it's this year. That's what it's feeling like.
But
That's
would
why
that be
he
a
said
shame,
yes.
Adrian? Would that bum you out if it was?
It would, because he didn't announce it. I'd rather have him announce it and give the farewell tour. Okay, he's kind of going out like Michael Jordan went out with the Wizards and things like that. But this is the only tournament he could win another major in, and he came in dead last.
Yeah.
He had no shot at winning.
Okay. Can we all be clear? Dead last are people who made the cut.
Yes, of the
That is
top
a huge
60
accomplishment.
Well, Adrian, thank you. Huge accomplishment. When I think Tiger Woods is a huge accomplishment, it's not making the cut.
But in general, though, to make the cut, to say he came in last at the Masters is a bit of a red herring here.
Okay, this was the worst 72-hole score of his pro career. Is that better?
72-hole score, right?
Yeah.
But it's a million times where he's probably not made the cut.
Okay. I mean, you can try to dress it up any way you like. It was not a good performance.
So, but are we sitting here ripping Jordan Spieth because he didn't make the cut?
No, but the point is,
Hey, Bogusch.
I'm sorry. The point is that exactly what played out for Tiger is why me and Maggie sat here last week and argued with you about your projections for him. Like, this is why he can't win a major, because he played 23 holes on Friday and then was useless on Saturday because of his leg, because of his back.
Yeah.
And those things are not going away. He didn't tear
But
his
those
A's,
could improve, though. Those
but not
could
to the point that make him. No, his leg
he's getting
is
further away from the car
but
accident.
his leg is fused together.
Yeah,
always.
that's fine now. They keep saying the ankle is not
That's
even
what
an
he
issue because
keeps
of the
saying.
fusion.
But it messes up the rest of his body
He
because
also
he has
says
to compensate.
he's in pain all the time.
But you guys know,
chronic pain.
have you guys ever had back injuries or known anyone with back injuries? Yes, they come and go. They come and go. There's
I
times
know.
when they're bad, and there's times when they get better. That's what backs do.
Right, but the thing is, this is his life. This is the reality of Tiger. And again, I don't. Last week you were dismissing the idea of getting through 4 days. It's just golf, but we saw his inability to get through 4 days because it's just that hard for him physically. And yeah, making the cut was tremendous, but then he was gone by Saturday. He was a complete non-factor. And the other guy's having a bad week.
I'm counting on adrenaline to pull him through if he's really close. I'm being serious. I know that sounds stupid.
Kind of on the eye of the tiger.
Right.
I just think that the calculus changes. If he's 2 shots off the lead, then maybe we get a different effort on Saturday at the PGA this year.
Well, right, maybe. But he was also never, you said a handful of shots. He was, I think, -1 when the lead was 6 or 7 under. That's not that close.
He was 7 shots off the lead after Saturday.
But even Friday.
And he said, I thought I have a chance.
But Friday.
After Friday.
After Friday, pardon me.
That's not that close.
I don't know.
It's not that
It's
close.
definitely within striking distance.
I don't know if it's
not
close
that
for
far.
him at this point of his career.
Right.
Tiger in his prime, could you say that's not that close? Absolutely. I've seen him make that kind of ground up on a Saturday. At this point where he says, I'm always in pain and he's struggling to get through a course, is 6 shots doable for him? I don't see it, especially when we know he gets worse as tournaments go on. And we have a pattern now. This is not a one-off. Like, we know that he can play well for 1 or 2 rounds, and then as the tournaments go on is when he gets worse. So to me, I feel better if he had a lead going to Saturday Sunday. That's okay. Maybe he could hold on for dear life and just do par. Maybe he could find a way to get out of this. If he has to come from behind and he has to go through 2 more days of grueling walking the course and all the stuff he talks about, then he's got no shot.
Well, the other part, too, is the Scheffler aspect of it, which is he's the guy right now. So we'll see how long that holds on. But 2 Masters in the last 3 years, he's not melting down. This is not Rory. This is not somebody who can be chased down. The way he's playing right now, I mean, listen, it's golf. Things can change, but I don't know. Tom is in Iowa, not pleased with how I'm talking about Tiger. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, good morning. I don't know. Well, first of all, I live on a gravel road in Iowa, and I tell people on purpose, which is a long way from where you guys are sitting.
Okay.
Talk about Tiger and what's going on. I've had a ankle reconstructed twice, and I've had low back surgery. I'm not fused like Tiger, but I can speak intelligently a little bit about this guy's recovery.
Okay.
We're kind of in violent agreement, Maggie, you and I, except we hear the exact same thing, which is the headline you talked about, 72-hole worst score of his career. This guy is a different guy. This is not the same Tiger. You said that, and I couldn't agree more, yet how I feel about that is completely how Perloff is speaking, so I want to give him a $100 bill to bet you that you're going to eat these words.
Okay.
And that is, he to make that headline, he had to make the cut, A,
yeah,
and he had to finish, B. And Sunday was better than Saturday, given the epic implosion that Saturday was. And so this guy not being himself, who's learning to walk, who's learning to swing. I mean, for me, I was a high jumper at the college level. And so it's not my jump leg that was reconstructed, it's the other one. But that's a really critical step to that event.
Sure.
Snow skiing. I can't turn to the left without turning that bad ankle. So Tiger's got about 50 motions in that swing.
Yep.
And he's relearning to walk. He's relearning. And when you get one full year away from major surgery, it takes for the body to heal. Takes another year to get that right. When I saw the headline that you guys are talking about, Tiger posted the worst 72-hole score in his career, and it was walking Augusta, which has a vertical component that's you can't see on TV. I was shocked. I got goosebumps. I'm like, this is Michael, Kobe, Tiger. Same guys, right? Do not bet against this guy.
Okay.
He's learning how to swing again.
Tom, and I appreciate you bringing your perspective to it. Thank you so much for that. And you've had these injuries and recovering from them. And that's what I would say. Like, if you are holding them to the standard of Kobe and Michael, then to watch this is kind of sad, I mean, Michael at the end with the Wizards, even he's trying to forget that. Kobe had the great 61 in his final game, but before that it had been pretty bad after the Achilles. So I don't know. They're mortal.
What would you have said?
They're mortal people.
Again, what would everyone here have said in 2017? He's done. I mean, he was done. He hadn't played. He really didn't play for the better part of 2 years. Came back and won the Masters. Honestly, he's a little farther along on this. The fact that he only played one round of golf already this year? It's already April.
But he's 5 years older with one horrible car accident.
Yeah. It doesn't really bother me the 5 years older that much. I think he was already falling apart. He's been falling apart forever. As long as I can remember, since 2009, since the Rocco Media match, he was falling apart. I just think that you got to watch out. I think he could have one more run in him, and it'd be amazing. It'd be this if he won in his 50s. It'd be the sports story of the decade.
Andrew Bogusch has other headlines for us this morning. Hello.
Hello, and we've got a test for you, Maggie. Would you, on a morning where you like nothing, would you like a free chicken sandwich at a Clippers game?
I would love that.
Okay, well, near the end of yesterday's Rockets-Clippers finale in L.A., former Clipper Boban Marjanovic was at the free throw line. If he missed both free throws, fans got that free chicken. He missed the first. And that's where I hand off to Craig Ackerman and Ryan Hollins on Rockets TV.
Fans are getting excited here. There might potentially be some free chicken on the board if he misses the second free throw.
Oh, man, free chicken on the board.
Yeah, so that's why the fans are getting a little frothy.
Oh, they're pointing to you. Boban's playing with the crowd. Say, you want chicken?
Here's your job.
No, he gave him chicken. He's a man of the people. He's a man of the people.
He did that on purpose?
He did. He gave out free chicken.
He 100% did it on purpose. He heard the cheering. He turned and looked around. He tapped his chest. I got you. He said to the fans, and then he missed a free throw.
I can't wait till we get the DraftKings report that his free throw over-unders were the most bet-on prop of the night, and somehow this turns into a scandal. I'm kidding. Now, Boban's the man of the people.
Oh, my
God,
yes.
Scottie Scheffler missed a putt so that everyone could get free chicken. Now we're really into something with golf. Take a little out of Boban's book. That was pretty amazing. I love the call.
Yes, I'm glad they were right on it. Didn't miss a beat. Cameras were on it. I mean, it was perfect.
I hated this.
Why? Oh, come on.
No, I hate this.
The Rockets, their season's over.
You play to win the game, like Herman Edwards said. We played the clip last week.
No,
you play to win the game.
Even if Herm could update that, he would say, you play to win the free chicken. I mean, come on.
It's not free chicken for him. It's free chicken for the opposing crowd.
Well, he
I
was
know
a Clipper for a long time.
He played there. Okay, whatever. I'm sorry. I did not like this. Play the game, make the free throws. If you miss and they get chicken, then you miss and they get free chicken. But him like playing up to the crowd, oh look, I'm gonna miss this free throw for you guys. He looked dopey doing this.
Oh, it's Boban. Of course
Right.
he looks
He
dopey.
doesn't have to do much to look dopey, but like he looked worse, I think, doing this.
He's a legend now for the Clippers, even more.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Boban. I think he's hilarious. He's apparently great in John Wick. I haven't watched the movie, but apparently he's awesome in it. Like
He's great in Hustle with Perloff.
Right, he's great in Hustle. I love that movie, but I don't know. I don't like the guys that just hang around the league purely to just be a punchline. Like,
Well, someone has to give him a contract. It's not him hanging around. He doesn't have a say. The general manager of the Rockets has to sign him.
no, I know, but he's definitely there to be like just the laughs guy. He's the guy that is going to mess with the mascots. He's probably going to do all the pictures with the kids, and he's going to make do jokes on the end of the bench. Like, but like when you hang around the league to do that stuff, and then, you go in games, you miss free throws on purpose in a game that's close, that actually is in the balance. Like, I don't know, he can actually go and be an actor. Like he actually is famous enough and funny enough to actually have a second career. I feel like he's wasting everybody's time doing this.
Yeah, but you don't think that coaches like someone who lightens things up?
They do. But I think it's a little different when you provide no value other than that at this point. And he used to be a really good player. Like he's not a scrub. But like now it's like this is what we're reduced to for Boban, missing free throws at game 82 of the regular season.
Everybody loved this but EJ.
I know.
It's
all right.
so great.
There was never a moment where Boban was a really good player. You really think so?
He was decent. No, there was a time where he would get in the game and he would be good. Like he was a good backup.
Oh, like a 10-minute stretch.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean not a 20-point scorer, but like there was a time where he was funny and then also could play 10, 15 minutes a night and play well. Like he's not at that point anymore.
Yeah, this
now
was
he's
like
purely there for the jokes.
He and Tobias Harris tag team.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a commercial out of it.
Great for them. I love Tobias. Grew up. I didn't grow up with him. I knew him when I was a kid. Played basketball with him.
Man.
Great guy.
Free chicken.
All right, let's see how EJ feels about this instead.
Bailey's got it. What do you got, young man? Two-handed hammer from Ari. Oh, the Boo Birds are out here in Cleveland.
The Cav fans booing because their team wanted no part of their season finale. Yesterday, happy to lose it to the lowly Hornets, happy to be the 4 seed, and now play the Magic in round 1. Here's head coach J.B. Bickerstaff on their pseudo tank job.
Live time, it's difficult to try to get all that information. We were aware as some of that stuff was going on, but once we sat our guys at the end of the third quarter, and they had the mindset that they weren't going to go back in, I didn't want to take any risks in putting them back in the game when they had already cooled down.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
You got it, coach. No, you tanked the game because you didn't want to face, what was it, the Heat?
They don't want to.
The Heat Sixers.
It's
they
a
don't
lot
want
of mental gymnastics they did. They didn't want to face the Pacers potentially in a first round matchup. They also didn't want to potentially face the Heat or the Sixers.
Right.
So even though it looks like the Knicks were gonna move up and they weren't at a risk to be 2, they say, you know what, we still rather face the Pacers, so let's just lose this game anyway.
But the Knicks should have lost, ironically. Like, they got kind of lucky to win that game. I think the Bulls went into overtime against the Bulls.
No, it was definitely a close game. But
yeah, and I don't know why the Bulls were playing their guys at all. They weren't playing for anything.
I don't know what Billy Donovan, that guy
that
was
was
on
weird.
the planet at this
so
point.
I got so confused by the East. Like, I feel like there's one team to avoid in the East. If you're not playing Boston, you're in good shape, right? Like,
which is
what's the
why
difference?
this was ridiculous to me because, okay, maybe you beat the Orlando Magic, who, by the way, are built very similarly to the Knicks team that you lost to. Defensive team that beats you up, that slows the game down. You seem to do really poorly with a team like this last year. You want to face a younger version of that team this year? Okay, fine. And then you got the Celtics next round if you win. So
yeah,
I
thought the whole thing should have been to try to avoid the same side of the bracket as the Celtics, and they failed at that.
Right. But
yeah,
they're happy to win a first-round matchup, apparently. That was the thing they cared about the most, which I'm like, what is beating the Magic in the first round do for you?
I was laughing,
I think
too.
you might lose.
Someone aptly pointed out on Twitter, is there like a ESPN Ocho or below that can air this Cavs Magic series for us? I mean, whatever the late night cable game
NBA
is,
TV.
they can bury the. I mean, listen, the Bulls Hawks playing game is as low as it gets, but this is a rough series.
To quote Cat Williams, Netflix or Tubi. You won't be able to catch that series on Netflix or Tubi, just like apparently Richie Smiley's stand-ups.
The West play-in goes first, by the way. Lakers at the Pelicans, Kings at the Warriors. Nope, Warriors at the Kings tomorrow night. Heat, Sixers, Hawks, Bulls on Wednesday. The full bracket gets rolling on Saturday. Scottie Scheffler and Tiger Woods now the only golfers to win the Masters twice while ranked world number one. Scheffler, that is, left Ludwig Oberg, Max Homa, Colin Morikawa in the dust on the second 9 yesterday at Augusta to win his second green jacket by 4 shots. The Colts and veteran D lineman DeForest Buckner reportedly agreed to a 2-year extension worth $46 million. Sunday Night Baseball was at Dodger Stadium.
Here's the 1-0. Jurgensen swings, hits it in the air to deep center field. Outman's racing back, straight back, still going back at the wall. Hits off the fence and rolls away. Bogarts has scored. Tatis on his way. Cronenworth being waved. Profar stops at second with a 3-run double, and the Padres lead it 6-3.
And that would be the final. The Padres taking the rubber game in L.A. Jesse Agler calling Jurickson Profar's tie-breaking 3-run double. The Vegas
Sorry, that was really cool. Did you see when Profar the day before got brushed back on a pitch, and seemed like it was pretty unintentional, considering I think the guy was pitching a perfect game at that time, or was pitching a no-hitter. It brushed him back, and the benches kind of cleared for a second, and they said that, it's just Jurickson Profar. He's irrelevant, is what one of the Dodgers, I think Will Smith said it from the Dodgers.
Yeah, yep.
And so then he comes up with the game-winning and go-ahead hit, and they're like, well, he's very relevant to us.
And Profar was mic'd during the broadcast last night, and he actually said that he misread the situation, that it was his fault, that he overreacted Saturday.
Right, because on Saturday, the guy was pitching, was it a perfect game or a no-hitter? Like, there would be no reason to brush someone back when you're going for that kind of game.
So I don't know if he commented on the irrelevant part, but he said, my bad, I'm getting excited and upset in the first place. The Vegas Golden Knights rallied for a 4-3 OT win over the Avalanche. Vegas will be a wild card at worst, but they're also 1 point behind the Kings for third in the Pacific. Moving up there would get them a better first-round matchup. And congrats to Cutter Gauthier, who signs his first NHL contract with the Anaheim Ducks. Should make his debut on Thursday. You might remember him as the smart young man that ghosted the Flyers earlier this year because he didn't want to play in Philly and got traded to Anaheim. And all the Flyers, head coach, GM, told us how bad of a dude he was. But he seems to be fine right now with the Ducks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a blast from the past. I wondered what happened to that kid.
Whatever happened to that guy. Bogusch, thank you so much. Coming up, check in with who else? The Dallas Cowboys. We do that next. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Music. It's our Cowboy Quickie. Today we hear from Bones Fossil, the special teams coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, who said on the Ross Tucker football podcast that Micah Parsons has been lobbying him to be the primary kickoff returner. Now that all the special teams rules on kickoffs have changed and you are guaranteed to be getting kickoffs for the most part, you have Micah Parsons who would like to be back there.
Well, I think we all love this. So the thing about this new kickoff return is in between a run play and a kickoff return. So a lot of coaches are saying we don't know whether to put a wide receiver back there or a running back back there. Like Austin Eckler might be the perfect guy. So what if I give you a guy who's basically like a big running back? He's 6'2", 245 pounds, Derrick Henry style, runs really fast, is ferociously aggressive. I want to see this so bad. This would be amazing.
Well, I mean, Fossil said the higher-ups may not want to risk a player of Micah Parsons' caliber getting hurt on special teams. But I should say, kickoffs are generally guaranteed. You can have touchbacks, but no fair catches. So it's going to be a whole new world now when it comes to kickoffs. But they also said they would love to put him on coverage for kickoffs because he did that at Penn State his rookie season. But I don't know if we're going to be seeing any of that.
So I'm looking back at Micah Parsons' 40 time, 4.39. Obviously, he's ridiculously fast. I think this is really interesting. Dion back in the day could play both ways. Devin Hester played both ways in a sense. I mean, this has happened before. Why are we too precious now?
There you go. That's your Cowboy Quickie.
Cowboys, honestly, if I'm the Cowboys, I do anything to take away from the fact that we're losing all our players and that we have really no hope for the future. All in, he's done nothing. I mean, Jerry Jones has done nothing that's actually all in as he promised earlier this offseason. So why not do something like this to get our attention. Otherwise, what are we looking forward to with the Cowboys?
Yeah, Bones Fossil said, hey, in the game, we're down by 6 and there's 8 seconds left and we've got to score a touchdown and a kickoff return to win it. Maybe we put Micah back there as a second returner. So that's what you might get. You know, you're right. When we were at the Super Bowl and we talked to Michael Lombardi, the former GM of the Cleveland Browns, we said, what does all in by Jerry Jones mean to you? Like someone who's in the business and has done this before. And he said it meant re-signing your own guys. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott doesn't have a contract. CeeDee Lamb doesn't have a contract. And Micah Parsons
he
doesn't
didn't
have a
even do
contract.
that.
He didn't even re-sign his own guys.
He hasn't done anything.
Well, there's still time, I guess.
It's time for what? I guess they could re-sign guys. It doesn't feel like this core is going to be together. So actually, you probably like that because not that you, but a lot of people probably think that maybe it is time to rebuild. Maybe it is time to rip the Band-Aid and get rid of Dak. You could make that argument that it's time to start over, especially a quarterback.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you just got to rewind. Like, you already screwed this situation up. The fact that you would be to have this type of, decision to make, either you keep your, MVP caliber, at least he was this year, quarterback and Dak Prescott, or you totally start over, or you hope that someone like Kirk Cousins shakes free again. I mean, these aren't great options when you're talking about the franchise quarterback of the Cowboys.
Well, what happens when they draft Bo Nix at 24? We got him. No, I'm just saying, hypothetically, maybe it is time to do that. We talked about last week, Adam Schefter reported that maybe the Cowboys would go quarterback. There does feel like a lack. I can't believe I'm saying this. There's a lack of buzz about this year's Cowboys team. Feels like, they're just going to run out the same, possibly 12-5 out in the first round playoff team. So what's the answer to that? Micah Parsons as a kick returner. It's the only logical move, Maggie.
The other part about when the Cowboys lost to some sizzle, I think, is the moment they brought Mike McCarthy back.
Yeah, I could see that argument. Right. Like, what's going to be different? If McCarthy's a head coach, you're already sort of lowering your expectations.
I thought so. Okay, on Twitter, you can vote in our poll. Is it good for golf that Scottie Scheffler becomes the face of the sport? Little surprised by the early returns, Perloff. 77% say yes, they would like Scottie Scheffler as the face of the sport. Ramon is in Indianapolis, doesn't love it. Hey, Ramon, good morning.
Hi, Maggie and Perloff. And Perloff, I'm telling you, I started watching golf in 1978 when my dad introduced me to the game, watching Jack Nicklaus battle the great Tom Watson and Calvin Peete and people like that. And so Tiger is a shell of himself. 4 days is rough. I played yesterday. I hadn't played but twice since October, and I'm almost 60. And I'm telling you, I passed out since I got it. I can imagine walking. That, of course, he's a figurehead now. I would like to see him play easier tournaments, maybe like the St. Jude, some flat courses, John Deere, something like that. Get his confidence up. You got to play a Muni or so to get your confidence up. He's not there. Scheffler being the face of the thing. I mean, he's the best player, but he has no charisma. That's why I have a hard time watching. I've only watched the Masters this year.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a golfer, and I love golf. The heyday of going all the way back to from Jack all the way through Greg Norman and stuff like that. These guys have no charisma. They get too much money. They don't understand that TV pays the money. That's why PIF is in the play. Because of the TV, the $100 billion.
Yeah,
they got to show some stuff. Phil did, VJ did, Padre did, Darren Clark. All those guys had that in them, and these guys act like mannequins. So that's the problem. But no, he's a shell of himself. He's not winning no more. I appreciate him. He needs to just go ahead and start teaching some people some of those secrets he knew.
There you go.
Thanks for taking my call.
Ramon, thank you so much. Yeah, Tiger spilling the secrets. I don't know.
I don't know if, by the way, Patrick Harrington or VJ Singh had that much riz either. I mean, definitely not Patrick Harrington. I know he's okay now.
It just
come on.
Here's the thing. I think that I think this is what it is. I think we are willing as sports fans to get behind athletes that don't have like a lot of the charisma, right? And that's fine. And people love Tim Duncan, and he just was who he was. Here's what I think fans have a little bit of an issue with. Guys who go out of their way to be boring, who go out of their way to not show you anything. And it's not putting up a fake front. It's not putting up a false thing. It's just you go so out of your way to say the most boring thing of all time when there might be something you could give us a little bit more.
No, I think Scottie Scheffler is more towards the authentic side. That dude actually is boring. He's not doing anything fake here. I think he's answering honestly. He's just boring, and that's kind of endearing.
Coming up, the biggest threat to the Chiefs. Get to that in just a moment. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
It's Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
I'll tell you, if Scottie Scheffler is the new face of golf, golf might have a problem. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, going back over the Masters. And listen, it was an unbelievable performance from Scheffler. He wins the tournament by 4 strokes. He has now won 2 green jackets in 3 years. He's the 4th youngest player to ever win 2 Masters. He's up there with Nicklaus and Tiger Woods, with players who have won the Masters and 2 Players Championships at this age. He's doing all-time stuff, Perloff. It's just he is not grabbing right now that casual fan or that fan who wants to tune in because they have to see what Scottie Scheffler's doing.
Well, the problem is there's no other alternative. There's no other face of golf. So to have a face of golf is something that golf needs. They need a guy who is at the top of the pyramid, who everyone is gunning for, who you tune in on a major tournament and say, wow, no one's going to beat him. So honestly, it's way better than this parody. It's like the NFL. There's a new major champion for every major. That is cool in a way, but it's not working. You need a guy who everyone can shoot for, and it's compelling to see somebody who seems unbeatable. That's what you got. You're right. Now, Scottie Scheffler, of course, there's nothing about him that says exciting.
Yeah, he's not going to give you that extra. It's just about the golf. He won't even talk about a round behind him or a round in front of him. He's so all about being present in the moment. He won't give you anything.
And off the course, he is as boring as possibly could be.
Right.
I actually like that he brings barbecue to the Masters dinner. I would love to be at his Masters dinner, big barbecue fan, but he's totally boring. But just the fact that somebody seems unbeatable is something. I honestly, you need dynasties. I hate to say it.
Yep.
There's a lot of parity all around sports. Do you remember when it felt like the Patriots could not be beat? Patriots were boring, but the fact that there was nothing really exciting about the Patriots except for Tom Brady dating a supermodel. But the fact that they were unbeatable made them exciting. If Scottie can pull off, say, 2 more majors, or 2 more Masters and a bunch of other majors, if he gets to 7, 8 majors, oh, wow, now we're talking about something. What if he even chased Tiger Woods as 15 majors? We need something like that. We need a dominant golfer.
Okay, but we're far away from that. He's got 2 Masters championships. Let's pump the brakes a little bit that he's going to be there with Tiger and gunning for Jack Nicklaus's record. I mean, he looks unstoppable right now, but we've seen guys come and go a little bit. To me, this is a very precarious time here for golf because you've got the split between the PGA and LIV. Now they're maybe, starting to get a little bit back under the same umbrella. You cannot expect casual fans to be following the ins and outs of that because it's boring, quite frankly, and then it's also distasteful if you're not into all the Saudi money that's coming into the sport. So,
but that has no effect on the majors. The majors had a great rating on Thursday and Friday. None of that means anything to the casual golf fan.
Well, great for the majors, but the sport is bigger than the majors. And Tiger, yes, because that's how Tiger got the sport and helped it go to the heights that it was.
Because of the majors. He's the major record, chasing Jack's major record. There was nobody cared what he did in the other tournaments.
No, but he kept everything relevant almost all year round. So even if you aren't tuning into every single tournament, you're still watching him and Phil battle each other more than just 4 times a year. See, it's got to be more than just the appointment. And I think people liked watching the Masters this time because it's like, oh yeah, this product is good when all the players are actually together and it's not fractured. I couldn't even tell you where to find a LIV golf event. Is it on TV? It was on the CW for a while. I have no idea what their situation is. And then the PGA is watered down now because not all the guys are in it. It's a thing called momentum, and it has to continue. And right now, even if Scottie Scheffler is the face of the sport, which, again, I don't know if that's great, where's the rival? Where's anything? Like, Tiger had both. Tiger had the charisma that people wanted to follow him, and then he also had the rivalry with Phil Mickelson. Tiger was a little more like Kobe and would keep everybody a little bit at arm's length, as sort of like man on his own sort of thing. And I just don't know if Scheffler doesn't bring any of that stuff to the table. Again, I'm not taking away from anything he does golf-wise, but we're talking about being the face of the sport and whether that's good for the sport.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but there's nothing about the in-between majors tournaments that affects any of this. Because Tiger, in 2013, after he sort of began his descent, he won 5 tournaments that year. He was golfer of the year. And every casual fan is like, oh, this is the most disappointing year. Because he went 0 for 4 in the majors. Nobody cared about how Phil and Tiger were competing in the Sony Open or whatever. That's not important. Really, what's important is the majors. And that's where Scotty's legacy is going to be defined. If he's really the man in the face of the sport, he's going to win the U.S. Open this year or the PGA. I mean, it's a big challenge ahead, but I feel like he might be the guy who could do it. He has no flaws. And also, he has that mentality where he doesn't seem to care. So it feels like the best chance golf's had in a long time to have the next guy.
Yeah, and then I'll ask you, though, if you are Pete Bellotti, are you tuning in for Scheffler? I don't think so.
Well,
and
what if he wins?
What if he casual fan.
What if he wins 6 more majors? I know it's a lot.
Well, now you're asking. Now we're talking about 2 years from now, or 3 years from now.
That's what golf needs. They need him to go on a major run, and then maybe he'll fascinate Pete Bellotti.
I think that you have called the Spurs the most boring dynasty in the history of basketball.
Right.
You talked about how the ratings were down because the Spurs were not, while technically savvy and proficient, they just really did not captivate people in a way that the Showtime Lakers did or that the Heatles did or whatever. The Golden State Warriors. This is what we could be looking at now, which is you're going to appreciate this guy. You're going to appreciate Scottie Scheffler and say, wow, I appreciate how much of a machine this dude is. But it doesn't get my juices going, if you will. This doesn't make me want to, ride or die with Scottie Scheffler.
Well, one thing about the Spurs, they didn't really do it in a row. They kind of were sporadically. They won their titles totally spread out. The other thing, that's a sport where you have Vince Carter and Michael Jordan and guys who do spectacular things. There's nobody in golf who has a razzle-dazzle of the NBA. The fact that the Spurs were winning titles below the rim was boring as heck. But everybody's boring in golf. Like what makes golf exciting is winning. There's no putt that's more exciting than another putt. The only thing that really distinguishes anybody is winning. Even Tiger. It wasn't Tiger's charisma or his style or the fist bumps. It was the wins.
Well, yeah, but it was also the degree of difficulty at times. I mean, it was not just the winning. It was the amount that he was winning by. Yeah. It was, at times, it was coming back on guys. It was either front running or coming back. He could beat you in a variety of ways. Tiger, sometimes, the degree of difficulty on his shots was unbelievable. They were showing yesterday some highlights of him basically breaking a club because he had to swing it into a tree to try to get the ball from out of a difficult lie. I mean, it was pretty amazing. And anyway, we asked you, if Scottie Scheffler is the face of golf, is that a good thing for golf? And you're welcome to call us at 855-212-4227. You can also tweet us at Maggie and Pearl. You can also watch the show. A little bit different, guys. YouTube.com/InfinitySportsNet. Now, if you're already subscribed to the old YouTube, CBS Sports Radio, you're good. You're going to keep rolling with us. If you haven't, you can find us YouTube.com/CBS/InfinitySportsNet. Hit subscribe, and you got us every day.
Okay, if it's not going to be Scottie Scheffler as the face of the sport, and you don't think it should be Tiger anymore, even though he's still the face of the sport, who do you want? Give me a name. I'm going to give you the top 10 golfers. Rory. It's not happening.
It would have happened already.
How about John Rahm? Would he be a more exciting face of the sport?
No, I'll tell you who I want. I want Homa. I want Max Homa.
Well, that's
California dude.
He's not going to dominate the Masters and
I don't know.
The majors.
He was right there yesterday.
Is he going to put together a string of 5 out of 11 majors?
I don't know.
I do. No.
Okay.
He's not.
Well,
I would love to see Max win one, but
he's in a different part of his career. He's a young and up and coming guy.
He's not that up and coming to think that all of a sudden Max Homa is going to go on a run. I mean, Scheffler obviously has a much greater chance of being an all-time great golfer. Max Homa's 33 and hasn't won a major yet.
Is he 33? I thought he was 30. Okay.
Yeah, even so. There are some young golfers who are exciting and young, but it's going to be tough. You really need success here. And I totally know what you mean. Scottie Scheffler is so boring. Everything about him. His outfits are somewhat boring. In fact, I always wonder, I'm like, what is Nike doing? It's just a plain shirt with a swish. Oh. Give me something here.
Where at
least DeChambeau has that cool, pirate ship golf thing going on.
No, isn't that the logo from the Live team that he's on? That
Is that what
weird
it- oh, I thought it was
skull and
Nike.
crossbones thing? Oh,
Yeah.
it's so lame.
But something. I mean, give me something. There's
How about the guy
Scottie
yesterday?
Scheffler looks like me.
Was it Neiman or whatever? The guy was wearing the really print colored shirt. I'm like, that guy's not winning. There's no way. I feel like someone from the Masters would come and like kick the ball away from the hole. They don't want the green jacket being put over some loud, obnoxious shirt.
You know, I got into this little thing last night where I was wondering about, you wear these ugly golf shirts under the green jacket. There's been a trend of really ugly golf shirts winning the Masters. John Rahm, I don't know, Maggie. I think it's kind of hard to pull off a cool golf look. What do you think of Scottie Scheffler just having a plain shirt? What's going on here? He's
a plain
so
guy.
boring.
Why would he wear anything different?
So I think maybe that's his angle. If I'm marketing golf, I'm going to say, this is the everyman. This is you winning majors. You can picture yourself as Scottie Scheffler. No special abilities, just calm, cool, consistent, unflappable. We could all do that. It's not like Tiger, who's hitting it farther than everybody.
I think for our sports heroes, we kind of want people who are a little larger than life, though, don't we? I think we like to pretend like we could do these things like Steph Curry, like any of us could launch threes
I think
from
Steph
anywhere.
Curry, we all look like Steph Curry. Like we could all be Steph Curry. That's the
don't.
exciting thing.
We
Nobody
don't.
can be LeBron.
Steph Curry is in real life like 6'3", which already puts him over most of the population.
It's a little more attainable than 6'10".
Well, I guess so. Attainable.
I mean, listen, any of us could be Brock Purdy. Well, how about that guy? That little guy getting out there, going to the NFC title, or going to the Super Bowl.
Most of us could not be a 4-year starter at Iowa State. Okay, funny moment from the Masters, and there were a couple of them. The one and only Vern Lundquist, who is just all time when it comes to, obviously, the SEC on CBS. Vern was amazing. And, of course, the Masters with a yes, sir, and all of the famous calls that Vern has. So this was Vern's last Masters, and he's going to be retiring. He's already retired from football. And he was waiting at 16 to give Tiger Woods a handshake, right? So waiting for just an acknowledgement. Hey, I've called so many of your great moments. And so Vern's by a tree on 16, and he's waiting there for Tiger. And Tiger, this was obviously planned out, and Tiger goes over there, and he gives Vern Lundquist a really nice, long, firm handshake. But nobody could see it because Vern was totally covered by the tree. So it just looked like Tiger Woods was shaking hands with a tree.
I don't know if you saw the joke, where it was Tiger Woods goes with the tree and says, "Sup, big log."
I saw a lot of jokes. Actually, it's a more PC joke than I saw. A lot of people thought that, oh my God, am I on an acid trip? Is Tiger talking to a tree right now?
Did Aaron Rodgers come in?
Yeah, this edible hit harder than I thought. It looks like Tiger's talking to a tree.
Well,
I saw many versions
was,
of that.
Apology accepted, which was the reference to the tree he drove into
no.
earlier in his career.
That's good.
Oh, gosh. There you go. So it was very, very funny. He definitely couldn't tell it was Vern Lundquist behind that tree.
It was a great moment that we're kind of robbed of from that tree, but that was feel good. Overall, I think it was a fine week for Tiger. Yes, he played terrible golf on Saturday, but I think everyone was very moved to see him and his son talking on Sunday morning. That was a cool moment where Charlie was giving him swing advice. Not a great sign necessarily that you need swing advice from your son on day 4 of a major.
Maybe you should have told us something different.
I saw something in Tiger. Those first 2 days, I couldn't believe he was playing as well as he was. And he was walking just fine. He wasn't limping. He looked way better than he has at some other tournaments.
And if the tournament was only 2 days, then that probably would have been good. But unfortunately, the tournament is 4 days.
He's played one full round of competitive golf this entire year, and it's April 15th.
No, I get it, but how much practicing do we think Tiger's going to do? Because if he keeps everything and he holds back until he gets to the majors to have like a full tank, so to speak, he's never going to have the kind of preparation that he wants. Just by the way, if you weren't following it, Tiger did make the cut, so obviously great accomplishment there. But then out of the 60 players who did make the cut, he came in dead last. He shot a 10 over on Saturday and a 5 over on Sunday.
Okay,
23 strokes off the lead.
Which would have been better, just to not make the cut and not embarrass himself on Saturday, to go for it?
I mean, making the cut is a big deal.
Yes.
So I think that's where the bar should be. I don't think we should be talking about Tiger winning majors anymore. I think we should talk about Tiger making the cut. And so he's got a lifetime exemption at the Masters anyway. You could just play the Masters.
Yeah, he could. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a day It's going to be a Sunday where Tiger's 3 off the lead and something's going to happen. It's happening, Maggie. As long as he doesn't retire. That's the only thing that would kill my take.
855-212-4227. He's not retiring. Not yet, at least. We had a call before said maybe this is like the last dance a little bit for Tiger, the last go round.
No, he said that didn't he say he wanted it to be
right.
a last. You can't do a last dance in golf because if you could still hit a golf ball, you're going to compete at least on the seniors tour. So there's no real last dance.
That's true. 855-212-4227. So we've got these questions out there for you. Did you consider this week encouraging for Tiger? Made the cut, then comes in dead last of the 60 players who made the cut. And also, if Scottie Scheffler is the face of golf, is that a good thing? You're welcome to weigh in. This was a funny one. Oh, gosh, where was it? Delta is in the chat, says, Scottie Scheffler is a face. It's a face I wouldn't recognize.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like every man.
I mean, yeah, if Scottie walked in right now, would I be sure that it was Scottie Scheffler? Like, it'd have to be, is that Scottie Scheffler?
If he had a dad bod, you'd know.
I feel like the next face of golf has to be somebody who we see as like a young prodigy. I think like Scheffler.
Scotty's 27.
He just looks like he's 37.
I know, but he almost feels like he looks kind of old, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like he feels like he's in his prime. Like I almost feel like
we need a phenom.
I think some of the Tiger magic was that we saw him since he was 4 years old with a putter in his hand. Like I think a lot of the faces of sports we see usually start at a very young age.
Yeah, Rory was on TV when he was a little kid too. I think.
Right. LeBron James, even like a Bryce Harper, like people who we've followed for a long time. I think for a lot of people, they're knowing Scottie Scheffler like this year. Like, oh, okay, this guy is really good. I think you got to follow this story a little longer.
Yeah, I just wonder, can we do that again?
There's got to be a 20-year-old out there who is hot and up and coming. But I don't remember. I don't know who that is. I'm looking at hot golfers under 20.
I mean, Tom Kim would be the guy probably. But
he's the one who played with Tiger on Sunday,
right? Yeah, he's 21. He's won some tournaments. It's just hard to go from, okay, we won 3 tournaments to can you go and win 2 or 3 majors in the next 2 years? Like that's such a big leap.
Well, this guy
so young.
I mean, I think Oberg, the guy who came in second, is now he's supposed to be the hottest guy out there. So maybe he's a challenge, but I don't know if he moves the needle for you.
Oh, Ludwig?
Ludwig Oberg?
I can get a little into Ludwig. 855.
What do you know about his personality?
Nothing. 855-212-4227. I didn't know he existed until the Masters over the weekend, but I watched a fair amount. Coming up, we have a new athlete couple. Ooh. I'll tell you who it is next. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff.
Yeah, it's social media these
Yeah,
days.
Maggie pulling up not safe for work tweets from NFL players.
I didn't pull it up. I didn't pull anything. I'm just merely scrolling.
Too early.
Sorry. I'm merely scrolling, minding my own business on my own feed. I didn't see this at all. Juju Smith-Schuster is like a...
He accidentally showed his own junk on Snapchat.
What is accidental? He's looking at the camera smiling. I don't think
Well,
this is accidental.
it wasn't meant for... I don't think he meant to put it out to the world.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, all the headlines said accidentally. Yes, I do not
Why
think...
would you be taking a picture of this? And it's with his girlfriend in the car. She's driving, and he's in the passenger seat.
So, first of all, if you follow Juju Smith-Schuster, the phone is surgically attached to his hand. He's taking a picture of everything that has happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I know Juju doesn't drink either, so he wasn't drunk.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I don't think he smokes. Like, he's a pretty clean living guy. He's just photographs everything that ever happened in the history of the world. So, at a certain point, a nude's going to get out there.
Well, I would appreciate if it didn't. I didn't need that. I mean,
I
it's
was
blurred
an
out,
accident.
so it's fine. I
Wait,
don't
you
think it
guys
was
have never accidentally taken
a picture of your junk? No.
Never.
I don't know how that could be an accident.
No,
Have you accidentally done that?
I haven't done it, but I know that young people like to take pictures of themselves naked, right? Like, that's a thing.
Okay, so I'm looking at
Hi,
this
Bogusch.
now. His pants are accidentally off? That's how this is accidental? I don't understand.
In the car.
Well, it's not
the
that. The
bathroom.
picture was on purpose. I don't think he meant to put it out to the world on Snapchat.
But why? But he's taking a picture. It's a high angle, like a selfie, and he's
Right.
looking at the camera. And I think it's...
He has a second phone, too. He has a phone. He's looking at something on his phone with
So-
his pants
He's
open.
Scorseseing this thing.
It's very
My
meta.
pants get on the floor.
Another accident.
But I'm in a car. Oh, man.
You know, now
Getting changed in a car is just like the degree of difficulty on that is hard to begin with.
You know, it's funny. I read the headline that he accidentally showed too much. Now I'm looking at the picture. You guys seem to be onto something. Just not looking.
I really thought Tiger could win. Then I saw his leg fall off.
I swear to God, the ESPN.com headline says Juju Smith-Schuster accidentally puts out Snapchat photos.
I'll tell you
now
what.
I'm wondering.
Bill Belichick is definitely gone. This is a new attitude in New England. You just do whatever you want. Snap whatever you want. He would have never done this if Belichick was still there.
The thing I keep thinking about is if this was an accident in terms of posting to Snapchat, because I think we already took the picture on purpose, but maybe he didn't mean to post it to Snapchat.
He meant to text it to somebody.
Who was he texting it to? He's with his girlfriend,
right?
Because okay,
also,
you
she
sex
doesn't need that.
with your significant other or sex with whoever. Okay, I get that. And the girlfriend doesn't look like she's engaged or very happy that it's even happening. So I'm like, who is that? Who could that have possibly been going to?
She looks out and she's like, oh, not him again. Keep the pants on.
I mean, is there a swinger situation going on? Like, I
don't know. He's definitely smirking at the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
He's taking the picture of this on purpose. Getting to us is the accident part, I guess. But then he just said, where is this going?
Maybe it's a funny group chat. Like with the rest of the Patriots wide receivers,
Right.
like, hey guys,
This should
happy
not be
Wednesday.
not part of our group chat moving forward. Okay.
He's going to be mad, too, by so few pixelations. He's going to want more pixels in this picture. He's not going to be happy with that.
Can I take you behind the curtain of my
Beggars
process?
can't be choosers here, Bogut.
Here's my process with the story. Dove Kleiman retweets out, this NFL aggregator who everybody gets their news from, for better or worse. Wild. Patriots wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster accidentally posted a picture of his genitalia on Snapchat. I left it at that. I did not need to do any more research. Apparently, you guys had to dig deeper in this story.
I didn't get the Dove. I'm scrolling it. I just got the picture. So I didn't even get the headline.
You got the picture.
That's why I said social media these days.
But it also is blurred out, I hope.
It was blurred out. But
so you think he did it on purpose?
Oh yeah, people leaking their nudes now is just like it's like every day. It's
But
like,
he's a gigantic marketing star.
which is why you do it.
I think he's
Wait,
looking for a
you're
new
telling me
sponsorship.
to get in with Procter and Gamble, he's going to show himself nude? He's
Drake
like
did
a
it.
big deal.
Drake did it. I mean, we think
Procter
totally
and
different
Gamble.
now in this world about what happens if you leak sex tapes or nude. Kim Kardashian just ripped the Band-Aid off of that.
Oh,
I mean,
but
the amount
EJ, that was 20 years ago.
I know, but I'm saying we're in a new age now. The amount of people who just showed themselves naked on camera and
Also,
posted
Paris
and
Hilton
it's an
walked
accident.
so that Kim could run,
So you're saying this was all a marketing campaign by
I
Juju?
think there's a better chance this was done on purpose than it wasn't. Let me say that.
I agree, but
For
I don't
an
know.
underwear sponsorship?
Yeah.
No, there's no underwear. That's the problem.
Well,
That's what he
look,
needs
That's his
it.
point.
I mean, look, there are
Tommy
men.
John,
There are
help me
men
out.
who do OnlyFans too. Just gonna put it that way.
There's some athletes who are doing this.
Le'Veon Bell.
Why would
Oh,
an
right,
what
Le'Veon
kind of
Bell.
Le'Veon
active
Bell does
athlete would do
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans? That's insane.
Le'Veon Bell does it.
Yes, active athletes. Of course,
How
Le'Veon
long
Bell
do you
does
think
that between
Juju Smith-Schuster-
boxing matches.
Did you watch him play on the Patriots? How long do you think he's gonna be active?
Juju's 27.
I'm gonna ask
getting
again.
ahead
You
of
watched him
things.
play last year. How long is he gonna be active?
Dude, I saw him
Mac
catch.
Jones is throwing to him.
Saw him catch a touchdown in the Super Bowl not too long ago.
Okay.
Wait, here's a question though about Le'Veon Bell's OnlyFans. What's he giving people there? Is this just engaged with
not know.
someone else? Okay, I don't know. I'm asking questions I don't know the answer to.
But there is a market out there for that. So you give them a little taste, and hey, Juju in 3 years.
Do you
He
think
has
that
income.
any part of Le'Veon Bell's OnlyFans includes a terrible towel?
Hopefully.
I mean, if he was smart, he would. Now I don't know if he'd get in trouble with like NFL licensing. I mean, now we're really deep into it. I have no idea.
Terrible towels. Let's make sure there's a couple of them there.
It's not a big towel. I don't know what it covers. Anyway,
Wait, I have a follow-up.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, Maggie.
Sure.
Because I am intrigued now by what is on Juju's other phone.
I don't
Can
know.
you zoom in on that and get some
No,
clarification?
I lost it. Hold on. Now I have to search it out.
Here's, by the way, the Daily Star headline is NFL star Juju Smith-Schuster posts X-rated snap of his quote-unquote mini Juju on social media. You can't do this on purpose. I heard he's got the French Bulldog. He doesn't need mini Juju to be. I mean, is that thing getting its own Instagram handle too?
Mini Juju.
Juju is awesome, by the way, and I am not going to stand for this slander. It was an accident. It happens. We all do things, take pictures that.
I don't think we all do that.
Yeah, please don't include me in this conversation.
I don't know. He's 27. Don't all 27-year-olds? I mean, I understand that young people have a problem with sending nudes to each other.
Kids today?
So the problem is, where you guys got me, the fact that his girlfriend's in the car, there goes his alibi.
Also, I think people believe because Snapchat disappears in 24 hours that there's no such thing as a screen grab.
I would
think
hope
Snapchat's
Juju would
also
know
the
that.
one where if you screen grab it, you get a notification.
That somebody did, right?
Right, but I mean, nobody's going to care if they screenshotted Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, the notifications are going to be rolling in.
Yeah.
Like bing, 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 bing,
Right,
bing.
exactly. Yeah, nobody's going to, because he's not going to run them down. Now, if it's your high school crush you're screenshotting, maybe you don't want to be so, obvious.
Yeah, right. Oof. Bogusch has headlines.
Oh, great. Back to me. Awesome.
Try to stay away from that.
And what does Mini Juju think of all this?
Here's Scottie Scheffler, the favorite before.
Now, if he looked at something on Snapchat,
That would be
then I'd
good.
be like, holy moly.
That would actually help this whole situation with golf. Then I think ratings would go up. Scottie
Something
Scheffler
would go
needs
up.
some kind of scandal.
Talk about a three-wood. Scottie Scheffler, the favorite before the Masters. He was the champ when it ended yesterday. A 4-shot cushion over Ludwig Oberg for his second green jacket in 3 years. He was flying home last night to check on his wife, then scheduled to play this week in Hilton Head, assuming that baby doesn't come now.
Wait. Scottie Scheffler's actually going to the tournament in Hilton Head after all that drama about he was going to bail out of the Masters?
Yes, and you don't think regular season PGA events mean anything.
They
I'm telling
don't.
you they do.
To him, they do not.
Well, this is how hard people were trying to make Scottie Scheffler interesting. First, it had to be that a child was coming, which everyone in the world basically does. There's very low bar for entry on that. And secondly, the child's not actually due until the end of the month.
Well, it's sort of what does the end of the month mean? It's halfway through the month.
I know, but that means it could be 2 weeks late.
I just think that, first of all, that kid will be out by the U.S. Open, right?
I don't when,
Or whatever.
When is the U.S. Open? June,
Father's
right?
Day.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
yeah.
what's the next, or the PGA? What's the next tournament?
The PGA should be in the middle of May.
Honestly, it's gonna come out later. She's not even pregnant.
Well,
this was just a ruse to make him interesting.
In their defense, everything that I read last week said the baby was due at the end of April. So the Scheffler exiting Augusta questions might have been a little premature.
No, I get it.
But that was always
Kids
the
come
end
early.
date. Yeah. Chet Holmgren, he will not be NBA Rookie of the Year, but he is an important member of the number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
We understand it doesn't, end there. That wasn't our end goal coming into the season. So, we got to kind of keep our sight on where we're trying to go.
Sounds like a vet already. His Thunder and the Nuggets won their regular season finales yesterday. The T-Wolves did not. They dropped to the 3 seed where they'll face the Suns. OKC then wins the head-to-head tiebreaker with Denver, earning that top spot for the first time in 11 seasons. And now both those teams wait on the play-in, which begins tomorrow night. Lakers at the Pelicans, then the Warriors at the Kings. If golf or Mark Pope's introductory pep rally or Kentucky or Marvel movies not your thing, maybe you were pumped up for UFC 300 over the weekend in Vegas. Cardinals QB Kyler Murray was there, sitting next to former UFC flyweight champ Valentina Shevchenko. I don't know anything about UFC. I'll assume that flyweight means she can kill you in a second because Miss Valentina should be in a Marvel movie. Either way, the internet took off when the NFL tweeted out a screen grab of the two of them. Kyler sending out the pic, writing, "My date is whooping any of y'all's ass." But no one's actually sure if they're dating. Only one story out of like 6 that we found says that they're not together. Everybody else leaving it out there, and I guess however you want to read into Kyler calling her my date. But they were sitting next to each other ringside over the weekend.
I think that means they're dating, right?
I mean, that'd be a weird joke to be like, my date can kick your ass. Ha ha, just kidding. She actually wasn't my date. Wouldn't that make her kinda look,
she's married. Yeah, I don't think that would be that funny.
that would make her look kind of weird.
Well, yeah, but you can bring somebody as a date. It's kind of an expression,
Yeah,
my date is, I brought my, aunt to the Oscars or something. Like, my date is my sister. Like,
Or you just met right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Saying,
and
hey,
so
my
you're
new
just
friend could-
talking.
you could have said,
But
my
then
new
you go,
friend could kick your ass.
Yeah, my friends can kick your friend's ass,
Yeah.
something like that.
It's just jumping to that is a big leap to then pull that back.
I mean, it's a hard launch for a new relationship if this is just a casual dating thing. Showing up at UFC 300, like one of the biggest cards that people have been waiting for forever, and just sort of like, all right, we're trying this out.
Did any of you guys, when finding your significant others, think for 1 second, I need someone who can kick someone else's ass in case I need help? Like, where did that rank among the qualities you were looking for in your spouses?
I mean, it wasn't on my checklist, but it is true. My wife is definitely tougher than me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we know she can hold her alcohol better than you.
Most
You've
people
told
can.
us.
Babies can.
Yeah.
The unborn Scottie Scheffler kid is probably a better drinker
Better
than me.
drinker than
Yeah.
See, the real question is not that. Is it a negative if your wife could beat you up? I think that would be a lot of
tougher
men.
than you, or-
Yeah, I think a lot of men would be afraid of that. I think that Kyler's an elite athlete kind of helps this situation, right? Because I think a lot of men would be intimidated dating a UFC woman.
I think a lot of men would also.
Oh, yeah.
Or just the idea that like if something happened and like we were confronted,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my wife's gonna be the one who's gonna go roundhouse kick somebody in the face.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
like and the husband's just like sitting in the corner
Yeah, that's
cheering
not-
her on. I don't know.
I don't think a lot of men. I think a lot of men would have an issue with that.
That's actually a point for Kyler. If they are dating, he's very comfortable where he is.
Yeah,
His own masculinity.
Kyler's what, 5'8"? I mean,
Yeah, he's tough.
I mean, no, he's tough, but he's not big. So
Well, she's a flyweight. She's not big.
no, but still, I'm sure she could probably still whoop any
Yeah,
average 230-pound man.
She's classically trained.
Right, exactly.
Kyler's got this incredible ability. Even in this photo, this is something about Kyler. You can never get a hold of that guy. Like you never know what Kyler's thinking.
No,
And
never.
honestly, I was thinking about his love life. Never heard a thing about it.
Too
Probably
busy
will never.
playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Kyler Murray just seems as low key as a professional athlete can be. Even more so than Scottie Scheffler. That dude feels like I've never seen him outside the house. Does he do stuff like this?
That's kind of why this picture surprised me. Because
Yeah.
I assumed he would have been with some Twitch streamer who does gaming. Like I just never would have thought it would have been someone for USC. Maybe
Some 13-year-old kid out of King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. What are you talking about?
No, there are adult women who stream.
Or gamers.
Yeah, we're gamers, absolutely.
Yeah, no, but Kyler's probably playing some kid somewhere in Call of Duty
Yeah,
right
he
now.
can't leave the house because he's like wearing a diaper because he can't get up from his 12 straight hours of Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We've never really. I maybe I missed something. Like Kyler just doesn't like go out a ton in public, right? Really, he's just kind of a
maybe in Texas.
popular guy on his team, but he seems to keep to himself.
Yeah, it makes sense he plays for the Cardinals because we don't see them on the field either.
Yeah.
Very little do we see of them in prime time. That's for sure.
This is definitely a celebrity couple to watch. You have to admit that'd be a cool couple.
Yeah, where would it go? How many UFC like crossover relationships have we had where like both people are actually famous?
Wow,
and, like
Rousey,
significant.
Did
Wow.
Rousey date? Oh no, it was
I was
Lindsey
gonna
Vonn
say-
who dated. Did Rousey ever date anyone, or am I imagining?
No,
that?
Rousey's married
She's
to
married.
another MMA guy.
I was gonna say there's a lot of like within the fighting community relationships, but going outside fighting, I can't think of many.
Well, I believe Tito Ortiz
He's in Jenna Jameson.
was with Jenna
Okay.
Jameson. That was
So that's one.
That's intense.
That's one
lot
that should
going on there.
one that should count for 5.
Yeah.
not a lot. No, you're right. It's not. It's not
And
a
we all
ton to
got
be.
real
Brock
quiet
Lesnar.
thinking
Brock
about
Lesnar,
Lil
of course, married to WWE diva.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a microphone for this.
Turn on, Mike.
Okay, I got some famous MMA couples, and I don't know half these people. With Tito Ortiz, Jenna Jameson is 7. Just to let you know, Luke Rockhold dated Demi Lovato. Luke
Yeah.
Rockhold,
I've interviewed him before.
is he good?
I think he had a moment. Yeah.
Henry Cavill dated Gina Carano. I know.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah.
And then she was a fighter, also an actress.
Okay, Whitney Cummings dated Brandon Schaub. Whitney Cummings.
I don't know who that is.
The
Brandon
comedian.
Schaub.
Whitney
No, I don't know who the guy is.
Yeah, Luke Sanders and Becky Lynch. Huh.
Well, now Becky Lynch is married to Seth freaking Rollins, right?
Oh, so she came out of MMA?
No, she
No.
did not come out of MMA, but I guess she met this guy who was an MMA guy.
Okay, and War Machine and Christy Mack.
That was
that's
very
a bad
dark.
one.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
And
No.
Travis Brown and Ronda Rousey. So Travis Brown is a MMA guy?
Yeah, he's a fighter too.
Interesting. All right, well, there you go.
So it looks like Kyler and Valentina really shoot
they
to the
got a
top of this
chance.
list
Yeah.
here.
Well, the Jenna Jameson one, you're right.
Yeah.
It's its own category.
That one was its own Snapchat.
Don't stay in the room next door to them.
Say, or the same hotel. That don't even have to be the same room.
Same town.
The Indianapolis Colts and veteran D-tackle DeForest Buckner shaking hands on an extension this morning. It's reportedly for 2 years and a max value of $46 million. Last night in baseball, the Padres won their rubber game at Dodger Stadium 6-3. In the afternoon, some personal history for Andrew McCutchen.
The pitch to McCutchen. High fly ball to left. Going back is Marsh to the wall. And there it is. Andrew McCutchen, number 300 here in Philadelphia. His first of the season and a milestone moment
for a Pirate great.
That's Greg Brown on Pirates Radio. Long way from McCutcheon, finishing last season on 299, then taking to week 2 of this season to go deep for number 300. It came in a 9-2 win in Philadelphia. And finally, let's talk about Hooters, the restaurant, and the NASCAR Cup Series car. Chase Elliott won yesterday's race in Fort Worth, Texas. That ended his personal 42-race winless streak, but it also ended the Hooters jinx. This was the first time a car primarily sponsored by Hooters won a race in NASCAR since 1992. Alan Kulwicki was driving that car. Yeah, what is that? 22 years, 32 years with Hooters. Yeah. Not always on the hood, but when it was on the hood, it didn't win until yesterday. Wow. So
this is
wings for everybody.
Again.
Clint Schwartz.
Where's Boban?
Well, I'm just. This is why women are the root of all evil, because you could have Hooters on the hood. You're never gonna win. I'm just kidding. I passed by a Hooters yesterday. It was attached to a Ramada hotel, and I was like, that's something.
That's horrible.
Can you get a special out of that?
I thought about telling my husband, like, just pull over. We just got to see who is eating at this place.
You're definitely staying and cooking in the restaurant at the same time.
Listen, I thought about it. One of my friends, a woman, one of my best friends, she'll eat at Hooters because she says she likes the wings. She's straight.
The food's good.
Yeah,
That's
right. She's all just about, like, I'll sit at the bar. She used to travel a lot for work. It's like, if I want the wings, I'll just sit there.
You want to pay $70 for the wings? Yeah, sure.
Oh, is it overpriced? I've only been there once.
Very.
But for another $15, you get a room upstairs. So you go wings right in a romance.
That's right.
Who knows they also have a
free
pool.
HBO.
Well, good for, who was it won that race?
Chase Elliott won yesterday.
Good
job,
them.
Chase.
There you go.
I'm done. That's all I got. I
Are you
finished
sure
on
there's
Hooters.
not more?
I'm good. If you want to go back to Juju, that's your call.
Well, let's go to Kevin, who's in Oregon, because we were talking about Juju Smith-Schuster, who took a picture of his and put it out on Snapchat. Kevin, how are you?
I'm fine. I came in late on the story. I thought you were talking about Juju Watkins.
No, she would never do anything like that, Kevin. Why would she ever do anything like that? It's Juju Smith-Schuster.
She actually couldn't do.
Yeah, she could show something else, but not that. Meanwhile, Juju Watkins, classy as it is, as they come. Juju Smith-Schuster is just out here with everything hanging out.
I mean,
And again-
before we got into the show, before we got into out of the break, we said, you see what Juju did? I thought you were talking about Watkins. Like, what did Juju do?
Yeah.
I mean, I totally forgot about that dude.
The other one.
Wait, what? What a star for an Infinity Sports Network. Oh. I had the wrong Juju. My bad.
Back to work.
Yeah, according to EJ, though, you're nobody unless you're leaking nudes.
Well,
So
we're not
maybe the basketball can just be the story for her.
We're not Team Juju here at this show. I thought we all loved
That's what I'm saying.
Smith-Schuster?
No.
Yeah, dude, he's the most. Isn't he still top 5 most popular athletes on social media? He's huge.
That was like 3 teams ago.
I don't know. He's a gigantic force on TikTok and Instagram. That's what he's
Still
And now other
I feel
sites.
like I've not heard him do anything on social media until this thing happened.
I'm telling you, it's because Belichick's out of the building. Now he's feeling all free and unencumbered. Literally. Free. Let it all hang out. Okay. That's about that. I just saw our new boss walk by, and you can hear what we're doing out in the newsroom.
Has a clipboard out, definitely for us.
Cross them off, then.
Well, first things first.
Right? Simple.
And we welcome everyone to the Infinity Sports Network. Coming up next, we do have an update for you on one big-time NFL wide receiver, not Juju Smith-Schuster. We'll get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Talked a lot of golf today. Tiger Woods. Was this an encouraging week for him? Finished the tournament at the Masters, so congrats. But of the 60 golfers who qualified and made the cut, he came in dead last. Also, Scottie Scheffler winning the Masters the second time, 2 in 3 years. If he's the face of golf, is that a good thing for golf? You're welcome to keep the conversation going. Vote on our poll at Maggie and Pearl on Twitter and tell us if Scottie Scheffler is a good face for golf.
I still think, and I totally disagree with you on this one, the fact they made the cut, I feel like you're underselling a little bit. Be so many great hot golfers to not make the cut.
Yeah, this is
like
not,
Hall of Famers.
But this is not the bar for Tiger Woods. Is not just making the cut.
I mean, yeah, but nobody's like panicking because Dustin Johnson and Wyndham Clark didn't make the cut.
Yeah, but nobody's putting Dustin Johnson in the conversation with Tiger Woods.
Well, generally though, I mean, Dustin Johnson is definitely a top 5 golfer of this millennium, isn't he? I mean,
doesn't have nearly the expectations
right,
of Tiger.
But name 3 other golfers with higher expectations. He's a huge name. Jordan Spieth, Rory did qualify, but generally, like a lot of guys did not do well.
Hasn't been a thing in a while.
So who's the thing then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think this is tough. I think this is where Tiger is in rarefied air.
Right.
And so to just say, oh, he made the cut and can walk the course for 4 days, let's throw a parade. I just don't, that's not what he's in it for. His legacy is already set. He's already won the out of nowhere tournament when he won the Masters after 11 years not having won a major. I don't know. This version of Tiger, you're just being delusional if you think this version is going to win a major.
7 shots off the lead after 2 days. That is not that far. 7 shots.
The tournament's 4 days long. It's only half the tournament.
I mean,
it's
still
like saying you're playing well until halftime. It doesn't matter.
Well, still, I mean, rounding out of the second round with 7 shots behind is definitely an interesting spot to be in. That's easily could win that tournament next time. I mean, listen, I know that, first of all, the shots that our guy hit, the Scottie Scheffler hit on Sunday, imagine that he didn't get hot, that back 9. Like, that was not a high-scoring Masters. I mean, Dustin Johnson, we were talking about Dustin Johnson, I think he was 20 below when he won his and that I think it was a COVID year. But regardless, like that was definitely attainable.
I didn't see it. We're seeing 2 different things. I didn't see Tiger Woods, someone who's about to like launch themselves back into the top of the leaderboard here. You did. We'd love to hear from you at 855-212-4227. Can I tell you what story did cross across my desk this week? Or this weekend, rather. Did you see, and this is sad news, but it made me think of one of the all-time ridiculous stories in the history of sports. Did you see that Fritz Peterson died? He passed away. He played for the Yankees, and he was 82 years old. So a very long life, a very full life. And Fritz Peterson, does anyone know what he's most famous for?
Is that the guy who traded couples?
Yeah, traded lives with Mike Kekich. This is 2 guys in the 70s who were teammates and decided not just that they were going to be with each other's wives, they literally switched lives. And we always talk about, oh man, if social media had been around for this or that or the other thing. Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich changed lives. Like, they moved into each other's homes. They started becoming parents to each other's kids. They did a total wife-life swap in the 70s.
Did everybody do that in the 70s? It was like key parties and wife swapping a thing?
I think maybe pop culture wants to make us think this is a thing, but I don't know. But again, can you imagine? That was just a story that happened in New York, and people were like, well, I guess they're trading wives. That's a crazy story. That would never happen today. And we get stories about so-and-so may have been sleeping with someone else's wife or whatever, the Brent Barry and Tony Parker stuff. But like, this is changing lives. Just all of a sudden, now this is my new dad. This is my new stepdad.
I think these guys are also too famous. Because I feel like, I don't know, swinging open relationships probably more welcome now than it was even in the 70s. But like, I just think that these guys we know too much about them. They're too out here. Like, the amount of social media vitriol or jokes or whatever would just be too much.
The amount of opinions.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, now, if you do this with a regular civilian, maybe we don't know and who cares. But another athlete, another pro athlete we all know, you would never hear about it till the end of the day. Like, you hear it every day.
Yeah, like Garrett Cole and Marcus Stroman can't change lives. Right. It just would never happen.
What if you marry another famous person's ex? Is that in the same ballpark? Like Russell Wilson?
Or what's the name? Or Derek Fisher.
Yeah. I mean, this happens all the time where celebrities, they break up with somebody, then they marry another celebrity.
But that's a little traditional. This is, hey, I like your wife and you like my wife, and now we're just going to switch home.
I understand. That's why I was asking if it's in the same ballpark. Yes, I understand an immediate swap. Yeah, of course. Wasn't it? So did this movie ever get made? I know Ben Affleck bought the rights and was trying to do it with Damon. I don't think it ever got off the ground, which is unusual because it sounds like a movie.
And also, there's got to be like more to the story. It's a salacious headline, but what was behind it? Because again, it was that's a big thing, especially when kids are involved. You can't just go into that lightly. That's not like a fun Friday night, you know?
Yeah.
It's a life change. So, R.I.P. Fritz Bridges. 82 years old.
He'll always be remembered for this.
I mean, what do you do in your baseball career that could ever rival this? Nothing.
He could throw 2 no-hitters and it wouldn't matter.
Right. Thank you to E.J. Stewart. Thank you to Pete Pilati. Thank you to Andrew Bogusch and Andrew Kaplan. And thanks to all the Weedos and the Purple Drinkers in the chat. Again, our first day on the Infinity Sports Network. And that's where you can find us from here on out. Appreciate y'all. See you tomorrow.